Hello everybody, we are live. Just check the mics on. Yep, we are good to go. Yep, we are live. So hello, welcome all to the stream. I am your host, Sonic the Comic Reviews, as always, and it's been a long time since I've done a in-person live stream. I think it's been about 2.5 months. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it has. But I'm here now, and I'm here to speak to you guys in the chat box live, as always. I see we've got quite a few people here already, so I'm just going to move the chat box up to the start, and then see what you guys are saying here, and then I'm going to reply along with you. So I will, as always with these streams, if you are new, I will reply and read every single comment that is put on there. It just might take me a little while to get to you as I'm scrolling down your comments. Let me just move the computer a little bit closer. There we go. But no, thank you all for joining me this Saturday evening, if you are in UK time zone, or afternoon for you American folk out there, or anywhere else in the world you may be, whether it is Europe, Asia, or anywhere else. So what have we got here? Crafty Masters, you've joined a little bit early. I think I saw your comment before the stream even started, but I wonder if you're still here with me now. But thank you for joining. XDoorDX, welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you pop up again, but great to see you here. Welcome back, Callum Sparrow. We've got Brigade Leader. Hello there, welcome back. Cypher, yo. Welcome back, dude. Hello, Stardust. Hello to you back. Ethan, hello, welcome back. Good to see you here. XDoorDX, welcoming everyone to the stream. Skullboy768, hello, welcome to the stream. Indeed, this is the road to 3 million views, which is an absolute incredible milestone that I'm very, very close to getting to. I'm not sure, let me just check. I am about 83,000 views away from 3 million, so not too many. Maybe in about a month we could potentially get there, so might have to do something special for that. Also very close to 8,000 subscribers, which is another incredible milestone that I never thought I would achieve. Brigade, you're listening to some Hatsune Miku Vocaloid music right now. Well, awesome choice. You can't go wrong with the Vocaloids. I was recently just out in Japan, so I saw plenty of Hatsune Miku, and that's never a bad thing. Jaheim Young, welcome back to another live stream. Always good to see you. You wasn't going to be here, but you are here now, and that's awesome. Skullboy768, I just repeating myself here, reading your comment here. You go, I saw that you went to Japan. You saw some very cool stuff. My uncle went in September and bought me back some things. Well, that's great. I'm glad your uncle must have had a great time out there. It was an awesome trip out there. I mean, I've been out there, how many times have I been to Japan now? 6 times. And every time I go there, it seems to be, the trip is better than the last time and than the last one before it, but it's an amazing experience. And I have picked up a lot of stuff while I was out there, and I've got 2 separate haul videos that are going to be up tomorrow. I've got a Sonic haul, and literally anything else that's not Sonic haul on my second channel, but there'll be links and descriptions to that tomorrow, so keep an eye out for some haul videos tomorrow. But yeah, what did your uncle bring you back? I'm interested to know that, Skullboy. Jaheim Young, you're watching OSW Review HD. I'm guessing that's a YouTuber, and he's reviewing Watchmen. I've never actually seen Watchmen. It's on the list to get to eventually. Did Jack Snyder direct Watchmen? I think it was. Did my hair get longer? Well, I suppose it has been, well, as I said, about 2.5 months since the last live stream, so I guess it would have got longer. It hasn't been cut since then, but the last live stream I did, it had not long recently been cut, and one of the benefits of the long hair is you don't have to get it cut as much. Basically, you just need to get it trimmed every like 3 to 6 months, I'd say, is kind of like the healthy time to get long hair cut, because you don't want it to get split ends or dead ends at the end of your hair. But yeah, that's enough about my hair. Road to the Multiverse, Solar Flare, the Beauty Queen. Great to see you here on the stream. Also, I just want to throw out there that I'm pretty embarrassed to say that the previous live streams that I've done with myself on there, I hadn't actually set the camera up to a 16:9 ratio, and I have no idea why no one's called me out on this before. And it was basically on 4:3 ratio, and I have no idea why I hadn't gone in there and changed it. But as you can see, we are now in full 16:9 widescreen HD, thankfully. But yeah, thank you for welcoming. Well, thank you for being here, XDordyX. Jaheim Young, I didn't want to say this because I might get reported by Geekdom 101 by YouTube, but I'll get blocked by him on Friday. What's this? You got blocked by him on Friday the 9th live stream for spamming about Sonic vs Goku. What do you mean by spamming? Do you mean continually talking to him about this? It was on a live stream as well. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know Geekdom personally, but he is a subscriber to this channel, and I have spoken to him a little bit in the past. Although he's gotten so big now, it's very hard to talk to someone when their notifications are just exploding literally all the time. But I did see some other controversial stuff pop up about him on Twitter. I don't know whether any of it's true, but someone's saying like he monetized a Stan Lee video about his death, and people were saying he was just cashing on it. I mean, I don't know, I didn't see any of it, but people were like really going a bit crazy about it on social media, I saw. But no, depends how badly you were spamming. I guess maybe he's not so much a Sonic fan. You listen to Fear Garden Freaky Music video. Okay, that's interesting, Cypher. Let's see what we got here. Since I didn't know he was doing it next year, my fault. I should have deleted those comments before block. I'm trying to wait for him to unban. You know, it makes me. Someone who does a live stream like that, it shocks me to think that he would even be able to see comments coming in on a live stream box, because I can only imagine it going boom, 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 continually with comments. But you must have put enough comments on there for him to see it. You never liked Geekdom, to be honest. Well, to be fair, I don't really see too much of his material nowadays. Not the problem I have with him, but just in general, is when a channel gets too big, it kind of puts me off because it gets a little bit too commercialized, and yeah, you know. But I've never had a problem with him personally. He's never done anything bad to me or my channel, and he has commented on a few videos in the past. So as I said, he's not done anything personally, but his material, maybe not for you. That's fair enough. Skullboy, what did you put in here? Comment here. A few things that your uncle brought back was a Sonic shirt bag, Sonic socks, Joypolis guide, Sonic curry. I saw the Sonic curry, but I wasn't brave enough to try out there because I'm not a big fan of like Indian type food. But it did look cool. Sonic lanyard, keychain, Sonic Mania pen. I know the pen. That is going to be an item in the haul video tomorrow. I know exactly what pen you're talking about. And a shadow keychain. Well, that's pretty awesome. What some awesome, great bits for your uncle to bring back for you. If you was out in Japan recently, what was the video called? I've forgotten the name of the shop, but the pop-up shop. I did a video on it recently. Thunderbox, that was it. They had exclusive Sonic merch out there for the past 2 weeks. That closed yesterday, so if you was in the Harajuku area in Tokyo, definitely worth checking out because they had exclusive Sonic merch there for sale. it was mostly, if you're a fan of Sonic and Amy merch combined, then you would have loved it. It's a little bit strange because it kind of felt like it was, felt like the promotion should have been around Valentine's because it had a very much romantic feel to it, not Christmas. Anyway, it's a great items you got. Jahim Young, he was trying to tell his friends from his geek army that he told you in an email to stop, since it's rude and creepy. Okay, well, it sounds like to get him to email you, that's pretty The McGuinness expert. 2 things. Do I have a Discord server? I don't, but I do promise you I will be making one soon. One of my best friends has a Discord, and I've kind of seen him on it, and it does look fun. So I'm definitely going to get on it very soon, and as soon as I do, I will let you know. Question 2, are you doing a live stream on Sonic Adventure 2? Yeah, I will, absolutely, at some point. I know there's not been a live stream for a little while. Well over a month on gaming. 2 reasons for that. Number 1, I was on holiday for a little while, and then I've been ill. So that is why there's not been many live streams. But absolutely. In fact, I did do a poll on Twitter a little while ago for the next game to be streamed, and the audience that voted have decided that they wanted me to play Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 next. So that will be the next game I stream, because I have to honour the vote, because that's what people wanted, and that will be the next game I will stream. But Sonic Adventure 2 is definitely going to be on that list, because it's Sonic Adventure 2, it's an awesome game. Jahim Young, what are you saying? You did it over time on his channel, so he said in an email if I kept replying, he will report me on YouTube. Okay, better play it a bit cool then, Jahim, and kind of leave him alone for a little while and not comment too much on about that sort of stuff. And he'll probably be okay with you. Solar Flare, the Beauty Queen, bye. If that's what you're saying, bye to us in the stream, then see you later. Has anyone else noticed that the view count for almost every YouTube channel is rapidly decreasing? Absolutely, it's a factor that's hit pretty much all but the big channels. The big channels are very much thriving in this new. Ever since YouTube updated its algorithm at July, it's very much hit smaller channels. And when I mean smaller channels, I mean channels that are kind of like 50,000 subs below. They're the channels that are going to be affected by this algorithm update. It's a factor that's hit everyone. I can tell you now that my views and watch time this month compared to this time last year are about 70% less. That's how much of an impact since they've updated their algorithm. And it is annoying and frustrating, and I can understand the frustrations that other content creators are having out there. I mean, first and foremost, I'm doing this for fun and to have awesome engagement with you guys on YouTube. This is not my job. I have a job, and so everything that I'm working on YouTube is out of my own free time. So admittedly, I would like to put more hours and time into creating more and better content, but I just don't have that time. So it's literally like a hobby for me. It's not a job. So the people out there that do use this as a permanent source of income, it's very tough when YouTube are updating their algorithm and it's penalising them dramatically. And it's an easy way to see. It's basically featured videos are being changed on channels. So when you click on a YouTube video, and on the right hand side you'll see recommended videos. Now, an easy way to see which, if you have a YouTube channel, for instance, if you go on incognito mode, for instance, and then go on YouTube, don't sign in, go on one of your videos, and then you can look on the side and see just what videos are kind of being promoted on your videos. You don't want to do it when you're signed in or anything, because you get kind of a filtered response, and it kind of the videos it shows you kind of cater to what your interests are. But if you go and look at it on incognito mode, you will get the raw sample of what everyone else will see it as. And I've done this a few times, and I'm now getting channels that really don't need views and subscribers featured on my channels. I'm getting like Game Grumps, Cinemassacre, all these really big channels that already have such a huge audience. But yeah, whereas it used to be I would have my own videos featured in like after a video's been watched by a user, or maybe channels that are kind of similar on sub length, but it's not so much now. You can kind of see why. Google, it's money talks, and the bigger channels are where Google is making the money. But I don't mean to be boring people here, but that's basically it. The beginner's expert in small detail anyway. Yeah, thanks for hanging by, Solar Flare the Beauty Queen, as XDoorTheX said here. What about a Discord server, Cypher? Yeah, just answered that question. It's going to be coming very soon. I'm kind of being I'm going to get on that train, the Discord train eventually. I think what's kind of put me off is that I'm not a big fan of social media, and I kind of looked at it like it was just another Facebook sort of thing, and I was like, oh, I don't want that. But now that I've kind of seen what it actually is, it does look somewhat fun. But, got a glass here. This is Pepsi Max, just for those curious. Just a bottle of some natural mineral water. Jaheim Young, you'll try not to spam him and his friends. That's the best way to do it. Geekdom, oh, he's got his own website. I suppose he would have if he's that big. You think views counts are decreasing because attention spams are getting shorter? To some channels that will affect it. For channels that have got very long videos, that's going to affect it. Skullboy DX, but I mean the majority of the videos on my channel are kind of around the 2-3 minute mark, which is very accessible for anyone joining, clicking on the video to watch. But yeah, yay, Sonic 06 Cyber, you're right. If Geekdom does not unban you till next year, you will have a problem. Well, then that's gonna unfortunately be how it is, unless you make a separate account, a new account. Jahim. Depending on each generation and person's age, some people have longer or shorter attention spans. Yeah, you're right. That's good idea, James. You leave him alone. Just leave him alone for a while, and then maybe you'll be forgiven. Brigade leader. That is a lot of Sonic stuff behind you. Yes, I'm clearly, as you see, I am sitting in the game room, and I have the collection behind me. Pretty much all Sonic. Some awesome bits. You can see the soap shoe Sonic at the top there. One of my favourite items. Do you like Hatsune Miku Vocaloid? Miku does. Yeah, of course I love Hatsune Miku. She's an awesome character and has some really, really cool tracks. I've got a few of the music games, and obviously being a fan of just going to Japan and whatnot, you're going to see plenty of Vocaloid stuff. And Hatsune Miku is a very large fan base out there. And obviously, as it's like a Sega IP as well, usually when you go to, even in Joypolis, for instance, which is like a Sega theme park, you're going to see Hatsune Miku stuff there, and there's going to be plenty of stuff. But yeah, what's there not to love? Hatsune Miku's awesome. She does have a Sonic outfit she wears, indeed. In fact, I have that in a keychain form. Yeah, I'll just move on, Jahim. I wouldn't bother it too much anymore now. On the last stream you was on, Beginner's Expert, you mentioned that you was beginning a fan film based on STC and other adaptations of Sonic. Long story. Well, that's great. You'll have to send me a link to it whenever you get it finished, Beginner's Expert. I'll certainly enjoy checking it out. You have a collection mixed with Mega Man, Hatsune Miku, and a lot of other anime Vocaloid stuff. Well, that's awesome stuff, Brigade. Very free, awesome franchises there. And it's great to see Mega Man getting so much like new merchandise and all stuff featured. I saw a lot of Mega Man stuff in Japan. It was definitely the theme out there in a minute, or Rockman as he's called out there. And obviously with the release of Mega Man 11, he's had a lot of merchandise and promotions about him. It was really awesome to see. You think like about 2 years ago, like Mega Man was literally dead. It's great to see him back. Sonic Adventure DX on the GameCube is your first ever Sonic game. What an awesome game to have. I streamed the entire thing about a month ago. Skullboy 768. A few months ago you picked up Sonic Mania Collector's Edition. £15. Phew, that is cheap. I have seen that there's a double pack coming on the Switch. I don't know if it's on other systems with Sonic Mania Plus and Sonic Forces in one combi pack. So that would be, I wonder how much that will retail for. The fan film will be called Project Mobius and will last around 20 minutes. That's a pretty good watch time. So you're putting a lot of work into it to be 20 minutes long. You don't want to bring this up because you don't want geekdom here. Well, okay, I'm not going to... This will be the last thing I say on this matter, JM, but you've got about 1% chance of geekdom appearing on this stream. Okay, this is a person with like thousands of subscribers, and he probably subscribes to a lot of people. It's very unlikely he's going to be on here. A rat just ran right on top of your foot. Okay, Brigade, where exactly are you for a rat to be running around? Yeah, you know what, Cypher, you've hit the nail right on the head there. You have no idea. But Hatsune Miku is a very, very profitable IP for Sega. In fact, it's why Sega of Japan pretty much puts all their focus on Hatsune Miku stuff. Sonic's never really been that popular in Japan anyway, but when you speak to, like, for instance, if you speak to a Westerner, American, UK, you say, what do you think of when you think of Sega? Usually it'll be Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Most people will think Sonic, they'll think Sega, they think Sonic. You speak to a Japanese person and you say Sega, they'll be like, Hatsune Miku, Vocaloid. That is what, but Sega know this, and that's why they mass market Hatsune Miku a lot in Hatsune Miku in Japan. Sega is. Since they have Sonic Mania Hatsune Miku mod. Yeah, I saw that mod floating around a little while ago. Be careful. What's this? Be careful if you can wear some shoes. Some nice. Oh yeah, be careful of those. Hello, welcome to the stream, Angela's Sonami. We've got a Sonami fan here. Pretty awesome. I'm guessing that's what you are, a Sonami fan, or the username like that. But welcome to the stream. You was ticked off about Daniel Bryan heel turn in the process. I don't know. I thought it was a really good turn. I mean, no one expected it. No one saw it coming. And it's always good to be surprised with wrestling because everything is so easy to predict, and it's all so. You can call what's going to happen a mile away, but no one thought that was going to come. And I'm not going to be honest, I wasn't really excited to see AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar again. Now, don't get me wrong, I really, really like both wrestlers. They're two of my favourites at the moment. But we had the match last year. We don't need to see it again. To see Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan, that's a match that we've never had before. I'm pretty sure, at least televised. So I'm excited to see it. Of course, Brock's going to go. Is going to win. They're not going to have like an indie boy like Daniel Bryan beat Brock Lesnar, but it'll still be a good match. Sega and Krypton should team up and do a Hatsune Miku Sonic crossover. Yeah, well, if I recall, when Sonic and Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed was released, there was a lot of, I think there was a poll going around of a character they should include in the game as DLC, and I think the top winner was Hatsune Miku, but it never unfortunately happened, and we never got it. That kind of would have been the first sort of game crossover. I know it's like a racing game, but unfortunately it never happened. But it would be cool to see a crossover, as long as it's done properly, and not like the Sonic and Mario Olympics games. They're not, in my opinion, they're not the interesting crossovers to me. Skullboy 768. Are first four figure statues worth the high price tag? Well, there's a few variables in that. First of all, I suppose it depends on what your income level is. If money is like an object to you. But I, at one point, had every first four figure Sonic statue that had been released. Obviously, I don't now. I kind of stopped after a while because they were continually increasing in price. And obviously the statues were getting bigger and they had more options to them, like lights up and exclusive versions, but they are very expensive. And now it's honestly not something I'm probably going to buy again unless it's something I really like. The last first four figure statue I bought was the Shadow one, which is up there. You probably can't see it in the video, but I don't know. They're really good quality, but the first ever first four figure Sonic statue they released was the Sonic one, and I think it was £95 it released at. Now their new lines that are coming out are anywhere between £400 to £600. That's a big jump. I think some of them might even be more than 600. So I think they're really, really awesome items, but me personally, I can't justify paying that anymore to today's standards. You think that sort of price for a statue now, you could go on holiday literally anywhere in the world. It's pretty insane. You should be careful. You was going to the bathroom and a rat ran across your floor. Okay, you sure it wasn't a mouse? Be careful of that. You feel like the double pack of Mania and Forces will be £40, £30 for Mania and £10 for Forces. Yikes. Sega is big help for keeping Hatsune Miku alive. Absolutely, Brigade. Jahim, also, do you think Tiara Boopski would return to the main or classic Sonic world? Which character's that? You'll have to let me know. You live in Arizona, okay. It's always hot out there, right? The one of the biggest deserts in the world, right? How hot is it out there at the minute? Let's see what we've got here. Speaking of rats, everyone, please be careful. You heard a few years ago over Europe. Yeah, I don't think we're on the verge of another Black Plague outbreak, X or DX, but you never know, right? Yeah, Miku and Sonic is most popular in different parts of the world, absolutely. You recorded your favourite Sonic X Amy moment. Sounds pretty good. If there's any Son Amy fans out there, Brigade's channel is definitely worth checking out. What is my most valuable thing I have in my collection? A Skullboy 768. I guess it kind of changes every so often depending on what values are and whether it goes up or down. I mean, could potentially be the Soap Shoe Sonic plush up there. Could be one of them. I mean, the value seems to keep going up and up and up every year, and not many of them keep popping up now. So, as an estimate, if I was to list that plush, I mean, it could fetch like £250 maybe. But if it gets enough interest, it could go all the way up to like £500-600. It all really depends on how badly someone wants it. It's very hard to put a price on an item like that. I mean, I've got original artwork in my collection, and I've seen prices for them differ. Maybe some of them go for around as low as £30, and then I've seen ones go up for around 300. So it's very hard, but it's very hard for me to say like the most valuable. As time keeps going on, less and less of these rare items are getting listed, so it's very hard to determine a value for it. But maybe Soap Shoe Sonic, the Sydney World Robotnik plush, that's quite a rare item, and maybe some of the original artworks in my collection. I hope that answers your question. Brian, heel turn is worse than... no, I don't agree with that, Jaheim. It's definitely not worse. The reason the Stone Cold Steve Austin heel turn didn't work that well in 2001 is because, number one, it didn't make no sense at all. You had the WWF at this time's biggest superstar. Why on earth would he want to join WCW? Secondly, Austin was already a part of WCW and he hated WCW and Eric Bischoff, which is why he left, because he was never getting pushed there. And thirdly, the most importantly, Stone Cold has reportedly said that his heart was never in the heel run, and he never put all his effort in that, which is why it kind of come off very poorly in his presentation. He kind of really didn't put all his effort into it, because I kind of feel Daniel Bryan is going to do the opposite of that, and he's going to put everything he has into this heel turn. I've seen a few rumours around that the reason they've done this is because AJ Styles is potentially going to come out and help Team Raw win the elimination match at Survivor Series tomorrow and draft over to Raw. That's just a rumour, so it could happen. Brigade is asking me, you one time saw a female cosplay as a half Iron Man, half Hatsune Miku. Well, that's definitely an interesting cosplay. Oh. I didn't know this question was going to pop up, but Cypher is asking me, how do I feel about Shadow not making the cut for Smash Ultimate, yet the Piranha Plant does? Okay, this is hilarious, to be honest. To me, this is hilarious. As soon as they announced that Shadow was like an assist trophy, I was on Twitter, and the amount of negative reaction I saw from the Sonic fan base was pretty laughable, to be honest. They were basically condemning this as now a bad game, and because their character wasn't in it. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I'm not exactly a Shadow fan, but the fans I am a fan of. I don't care that they're not in it. People need to remember this is a Nintendo game on a Nintendo system. Okay, it's not gonna have every character you want. These people want in it, right? It's not gonna. There was people asking for Goku, Naruto. Of course, we had the Waluigi thing. That was pretty toxic at the time, but which is why obviously you can see the Piranha Plant. It's a Nintendo character. There's going to be more Nintendo characters in it. I know we've got 6 DLC characters on the way. It's pretty clear that one of them's not... Well, it's not going to be Shadow if they've got him as an assist trophy, but we could see another Sonic character in there, who knows. But either way, I'm not buying Smash Brothers for... just because Sonic's in it. I'm buying Smash Brothers because it's a fun fighting game. You can find MMDs on YouTube of Hatsune Miku singing and dancing with Sonic. Well, that's pretty awesome. Well, that's a pretty nice comment there from XDoorDX, welcoming those to the stream. Thank you once again, as I said at the start, for everyone who has come and joined and even left already the stream. It's really much appreciated. So yeah, as I said, every comment, I'm reading every single comment, scrolling down as we're going. We might get some more people joining the stream. We might not, but let's all just have a bit of fun and enjoy the time that we're here. You found a Sonic the Hedgehog figure collection at Bookmarks for $3 each. I could not find a shadow figure. The worker there showed me he bought the shadow figure for $3. Okay. Figure and card in box for $50. The box was in poor condition. Tiara Boboski from Sonic Extreme. Well, who knows? Anything's possible, right? They brought back obscure characters in Sonic Mania, so anything's possible. Jaheim? It can get anywhere over 110 degrees. That is really hot, but it's supposed to be winter soon. Just never snows hardly. Yeah, I mean, here in the UK, it's we don't really get too much of a summer. Maybe a month if we're lucky. In fact, I think this year was the hottest summer and longest summer we've had in decades. It was long, but usually it's normally mild and we get quite a lot of rain here. We usually, I think it's something like over 100 days of the year we get of rain in England. You gotta go. Send me a PM over YouTube when I get a Discord server, even if you don't have a server. Absolutely, Cypher. Thank you for joining the stream and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be chatting soon. Welcome to the stream, Supersonic Giovanni. I think you meant face reveal, right? It's not. I've been on this channel quite a few times, both as live streams and actual videos. If you scroll through my videos enough, you will see that there's quite a few videos with me on there. I do apologise, and I'm coughing a little bit. I'm still on the later end of a bug. Did I hear about the UK Sega shop, Skullboy768? No, I didn't. Please do enlighten me on what you're talking about. Disappointed that Shadow did not make it over a Mario Piranha Plant. Okay, there you go. Oh man, I think a lot of people lose the concept of what we're getting. An incredible looking fighting game with such a large roster. It's easy to look at it now and criticize what things are, who did it, who did not, but you go back just as far as 20 years ago, to have Sonic even in a Mario game, or Mario, a Nintendo game, would be unheard of. It would not be possible. So the fact that we've even got Sonic in this game, I know technically he was in the last two, but it made a huge impact. I remember around the time trailers were coming out for Brawl, and then we had Sonic announced for it. People went pretty mad over that, and they were really excited. And it's kind of like people have forgotten that we should be glad to even just have Sonic in this game. Sakurai said in an official interview 10 years ago that manga characters like Goku have absolutely no chance in Smash Bros. Yeah, and that definitely saddened a lot of people. But I can understand it. Having an anime character in a fighting game featuring characters from video games, it would be a little bit out of place. You could argue that Bayonetta is kind of anime-ish character, but then she's technically not because she was created as a video game character. There's no one in that game did not originate from like an anime or a cartoon, for instance. It's all from solely video games. Shadow is more popular than Mario Piranha Plant. Well, to the Sonic fans, maybe. Not to Nintendo fans, I don't think. where is the best place to buy Sonic merchandise? That's a hard question to answer, actually, Skullboy. That would have been easy to answer maybe 10 or so years ago, but it kind of seems that websites come and go, close down, shops come and go, companies go bankrupt and shut down. Toys R Us is one, Woolworths is another example. We have the UK toy shop chain Smiths, which can sometimes sell Sonic merchandise, but I only find that you see them selling that Sonic merchandise in Smiths if it's a very large store and they have a very large selection. But from experience for me, you also have the Entertainer, but they very rarely have Sonic stuff in there. I honestly find that it's all online now. It's pretty much the only way to get hold of most merchandise. They need Dr. Wily and Dr. Eggman in Smash Bros. Yeah, you see, I agree. I would rather have Dr. Wily or Dr. Eggman than Shadow. It would make more sense, right? Especially as you've got Bowser in the game. So why not have the main villain from Mega Man or Sonic, of course. My mind just went blank a little bit there. But unless I didn't see it on the internet, but I didn't see Mega Man fans going loopy over one of their characters not being featured in the game, because they could have had a Shadow or Echo character for Mega Man, but they didn't. I don't know. It would have been pretty cool to see Roll in the game. Yeah. Okay. You sent a link. Okay, I'll add that there and I'll give that a little watch later, just in case it blows out my earphone here because it's on quite loud. But yeah, I'm surprised that you could send a link. YouTube could never allow anyone. Okay, that's interesting, yeah. Maybe it's some part of a YouTube update, or it's maybe part of my settings that I've allowed links to be sent. Not sure. Unless YouTube did change its feature, X is probably right. You know that Jump Force will beat Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, I don't know. I doubt it will in sales. It definitely won't in sales. Even if it is a better game, it definitely will not beat it in sales. That's like saying, Christ, what would be a comparison here? A non-popular game, let's see. I don't know, that's basically like saying some generic, an indie game, that's like saying an indie game is going to outsell something like Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just, I really don't think it's going to happen. If I look up Sega Shop UK, it takes you to their website. Now you can get exclusive merchandise. Okay, well, I'm going to do that right now because this is the first I've heard of this website, Skullboy. Let's have a little look. Okay, I've tried the website and it's telling me it cannot be found. So if I Google it, we should be able to get it. Okay, we've got it up now. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let us... There we go. Let's have a look and I'll show you exactly what I've come onto here. So this is the website, segashop.co.uk. This is the first I've ever been on this website and I didn't even know about it. But it looks pretty cool. I like this Dreamcast stuff. Now, I've seen this jumper appear on Twitter earlier today. I have seen that. Let's have a little look at what they've got on here. We've got Amy Rose 25th anniversary coin. Looks good. Now, this jumper, the picture here looks pretty decent, but a YouTuber on here, Orange Hedgehog 2012, put a picture up of this that's come in the mail, and I think it honestly looks pretty bad. I actually thought it was a bootleg shirt at first. I was like, wow, where did you get this bootleg? And then I realised this is actually official merch. Something just doesn't look right. The quality just looks off. As I said, this is an online picture that's been made to look as best as possible, so it doesn't look too bad, but seeing some real pictures of this, it's not impressive. In fact, it doesn't even show you pictures of the back, which is completely blank. There is no patterns on it at all. And this is £40. Man. I believe this is from Numbskull, because they've done previous Sonic jumpers. But let's see what else they've got on here. I mean, I like seeing Alex the Kid. That's awesome merch. This is one of my very first video games I've ever played, Alex the Kid in Miracle World. So definitely, and these are good prices. Look, £12, £15. These are really good prices. Might have to come back on here sometime and get some merch. But I do appreciate you telling me about this website, Skullboy. So we've got a Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, 15% off your first order when signing up. Let's go on Dreamcast. I'm a big fan of the Dreamcast, and I very much prefer the blue logo we got here in Europe. For you American viewers, this was obviously an orange and it was flipped, but due to copyright reasons, they had to change it in Europe. But I've always been more a fan of looking at it in blue. It just kind of looks better in that. I'm very glad that they've kind of used that on the merchandise that they've got here. Pretty awesome. Dreamcast socks. Not something you see every day. But yeah, pretty awesome. Let's go back to these comments. You got excited that Light Yagami and Ryuk the Shinigami from Death Note are in Jump Force, but a bit disappointed they aren't playable because they've been overpowered. I'm a little bit out of the loop with those animes. You're going to have to let me know who they are. Oh, Death Note, of course. Sorry, I didn't read that. I've never actually watched that. It's a series I need to get around to. I've only recently started watching Attack on Titans because I was watching it out in Japan, and that's really good. Something I want to get into a bit more. Welcome to the stream, Celadon Sound. Awesome to have you here. I hope you're well too, by the way. Brigade leader is asking me, you had a friend back in high school named Brandon. He started to hate Mega Man because a fan video someone made a while back on YouTube where Sonic beat up Mega Man. Well, I think your friend needs to, if something like that's going to upset him, then I worry for him when he enters the real world. But there's nothing wrong with Mega Man. It's not a series I ever really played back in the days, but back in the old, my younger childhood days. But after watching one of my best friends play Mega Man 11, he's told me that the Mega Man series is his favourite game series. I've definitely got a love for the series now. It's something I will get into one day. When I mean get into and play more. Yeah, I was like, this is a dumb reason to hate one over the other. Absolutely, Brigade. You've got to go, Skullboy. Well, thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for sharing this very interesting Sonic Sega website with awesome merch. Definitely we'll be checking out, so thank you for that, and thank you for joining the stream. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and if you're going to rest, then good night. You said about Sonic and Brawl, but in 2006, report rumours and requests at the time had speculated Goku. Yeah, I remember that, but you got to remember, these Goku rumours have been coming up with every Smash game since Brawl. You had it in the Wii U one, and you had it obviously with this Switch one. It just kind of seems like parts of the fan bases since then have become even more toxic in areas with all this hate spewing around everywhere. And this is bad because this and that and this and that. Celadon, how was Tokyo? Did I stay in sunshine again? Tokyo was amazing. I had an absolute fantastic time out there. It kind of feels like every time I go out there, the experience and journey is better than the last time I was out there, which is, it kind of feels very hard to top whenever I go out there, but it somehow does. Sorry. But I did stay in sunshine. It was really, really awesome. I got to see and do a lot of stuff out there, and it was definitely the best weather I've ever visited Japan in. It was sunny, warm, and it only rained one day I was out there. It was literally summer's weather, but not too hot the whole time. It was warm enough to just walk around in a t-shirt like this and just some jeans, even through the evening. It was amazing. I had a fantastic time out there. Thank you for asking. You know this store in America called Our Galaxy Brigade? Is asking me. They sell Sonic, Mega Man, Hatsune Miku, Vocaloid, anime, manga, comics, Marvel, and DC. The owner of the store says they try to sell many products. Well, that's awesome. Just double check that some of the items they're selling there are not bootlegs, because we've had a few shops here in the UK. There was some shops in London at one point that was selling lots of merchandise like that, and it was a bit deceiving. If any of you are familiar with the UK shopping chain Tokyo Toys, you may know what I'm talking about. Basically, they kind of sell a mixture of official and bootleg merchandise, which is super, super annoying because I don't want to buy fake merchandise and I don't want to support the crooked organisations out there that are making it. And I've confronted them about this before, saying, why are you selling bootlegs? I can't remember the response they said now, but it was very... it was not a good response. Like, professional is kind of like, we don't like, they can't get more official merchandise in their store. And I was like, well, if they're going to sell bootleg merchandise, then at least advertise that what they're buying is a bootleg. But they don't. But there are shops like that. Just be aware. Our Galaxy Online. Well, that's pretty awesome. Sounds like a good shop, Brigade. I don't know whether they ship worldwide, because you guys are in America and I am way over the Atlantic in the UK. But I'll have to give that a check a little bit later. Remember Asora's Wrath in 2012 by Capcom? That beat me up. The game was awesome. Better than most games. I've never actually played that game, and I don't remember it too much. And that's pretty surprising because Capcom is one of my favourite game developers. Welcome to the stream. I'm going to hopefully pronounce this right. Davonte Ewing. But you got a Luigi avatar, which is pretty awesome. And thank you for the positive comments on my shirt. This is indeed Michael Jackson from the album Bad. Probably my favourite album of all time. And it is an official t-shirt, I just wanted to throw out there. It's not like a bootleg one. Let's scroll down. Oh, I've actually reached the bottom of the chat box, which is the first time since starting this in an hour. That's pretty awesome. So, Celadon Sound, what did you get up to over there other than merch hunting? So, God, it's crazy. It's even though it was so recent, it feels like so long ago. It's like I basically went and saw a lot of different places out there, a lot of different areas of Tokyo. I visited Kamakura, which, in case anyone's curious, I might have not pronounced that right. It might be Kamakura. I think it's Kamakura, which is the old capital of Japan before Tokyo. And that was a really, really awesome place. It was very much more like a traditional, real Japanese place. There was no like high street shops or skyscrapers. It was all like a traditional small Japanese city. It was very busy though. I went there on Saturday. It was very, very busy. Of course, I had to visit the usual areas in Tokyo. Akihabara is always going to be my favourite place to visit in just Japan in general. It's just an absolute awesome place. I do have some haul videos up tomorrow of everything I brought back there. What else did I do? The weekends kind of consisted of going out to arcades, which was amazing. Meeting up with friends out there and going to arcades. I never have as fun evenings anywhere than being in Japan and going out at night and just having something to eat, drink, and then when I mean drink, I mean non-alcoholic, but it's still drinking, and just going to proper arcades. It's just such a fun experience, and I could never get tired of doing something like that at weekends. It's amazing, and I really can't wait to get back out there. I went up the Sky Tree, which is the highest building in Japan, and it's actually the tallest tower in the world. And the weather was, I wasn't planning on going there, but as the weather was so good, I was like, I've got to take, I can't not take advantage of this. In fact, I'll tell you what, if I find the file, I will show you some pictures that we got here. Where do we have? So if I find, okay, let me just mute that. But if I put, okay, so this was the Sky Tree, and this was how great and clear the weather was the time I was there. You can kind of see, I've muted it because there was a lot of people there and there's a lot of people talking, but the views up here were absolutely fantastic. It was almost like being in an aeroplane, you were so high. That over there was the Haneda Airport. That's how high up I could see. You might just be able to see the runway a little bit there in the back. Absolutely incredible. And I made sure I got my money's worth when I was up here, because I was like, I just thought to myself, I'm going to stay here until it gets dark, because I want to see what it looks like in daylight and nighttime. I wanted to see what the city looked like at night. And if I find a video and show another one that I took. Alright. Okay. So this is up the same place, but this was when it was starting to get nighttime, so you start to see lights coming on. And then the background there, as you see me zooming in, that's actually Mount Fuji. It was absolutely amazing to see the sun setting behind Mount Fuji from this high up. The weather was so clear that it's very unlikely that you usually see Mount Fuji from the top of the Sky Tree, because it's usually always humid and the low clouds. But there's Tokyo Tower there, lit up in the middle. That's it, me zooming in on it. As I said, the views were literally amazing. Let me go back to the chat box and see what you guys are saying. Welcome to stream, Project Spark TM. Don't worry about the lateness. It's just great to have you here now. Thank you for joining me on the stream. I hope your laundry is all good. don't you think there's so much more to do in the evenings in Tokyo? Too many things revolve around drinking. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. It's sad. It saddens me to agree with that statement about here, as in UK. Literally, majority of people have the idea that to go out in the evening here is to just go to a bar and get drunk. Yeah, some people, that's for them, that's fair enough. To me, it's not, that's just boring. But there's so much stuff to do in the city there, and you're absolutely right about the evenings. In the mornings, there's not too much to do if you're going in like city-wise, because everything's kind of shut. Most things don't open till 10 or 11. But that's fine, because I'm not really a morning person anyway. I've always been more of a late guy. But yeah, I guess this time 2 weeks ago, I would have, well, no, this time 2 weeks ago, it would be Sunday morning out there. It's Sunday morning out there in Japan now, but if it was the same time zone here as it is now, I probably would have been in an arcade 2 weeks ago playing some fun with some friends. But it was awesome. And as the weather was so good, I did go to the beach on Halloween because it was so hot, and relaxed at Odaiba Beach. That was a really nice day. And as I was in Odaiba afterwards, I visited Joypolis and some of the other places in Odaiba. Amazing. Very nice view. Absolutely, X. It's definitely a go-to location, the Skytree. I know it's kind of a little bit of a touristy spot, but if you want the best views in the city, it's got to be a place to go. Have I been to Enoshima? It's a short from Tokyo. I haven't yet, but it's on the list next time. I kind of run out of time when I was out there. Well, I run out of two variables. I ran out of time and money, so I had to be very careful. I was literally eating as cheap as possible just to try to have money to do things. Yeah, it was a great time in the evening next door, the X. Yeah, we should absolutely trade some pictures, sell it on sound. That would be awesome. You need to tell me some places out there that you've been to. Send me some pictures of some of the awesome places and recommend on the thing. Okay, I won't worry about the geekdom thing anymore, Jahim. Just I'm not going to be mentioning his name anymore from now, so don't worry about it. And yeah, here we go. I've reached the end of the chat box. But every day, I think there was only one day when I was out there that I took it easy, because I was probably I think it was on a Sunday, and I was so tired after the day before, because I'd walked something like 15, 16 miles, I think. I think it was more than that. I think it was about 20 miles. Yeah, it was about 20 miles. On average, I was doing up to about 10. On an average day, it was about 10 miles walking every day. I was making sure I was getting as much done as possible. Because when you're going that far, you don't want to waste it just sitting in a hotel. But that one day, I was just so tired, I was like, right, I've got to take it easy. It's just going to be an easy day. Have I been to Nagasaki? Have I been to Nagasaki? I think I have. Man, been out there so many times now. I'm trying to remember the areas I've been. It does ring a bell. The Miyari Museum in Odaiba. Have I walked? Yeah, the Venus Fort. I have done. It was an experience for sure. Make sure if you go to Odaiba to walk over Rainbow Bridge. That's an awesome thing to do, and it's free as well, which is one of the best things about it. But you get some awesome views up there. Have I seen the Detective Pikachu trailer? Yeah, of course. It looks cool. I mean, admittedly, I suppose in my heart I would have rather just had a standard like Pokemon normal film, but in real life like that. But I'm game for that. It looks awesome. It certainly was man, oh man, what a bad day for Disney though, right? They released the Toy Story 4 trailer, and immediately Warner Brothers releases Detective Pikachu, which kind of like completely obliterates Toy Story. And if you check analytics on views, It's literally Detective Pikachu's got like treble the amount of statistics for it. So yeah, Detective Pikachu comes out and then literally it obliterates Toy Story in just press and analytics. And then shortly after, you had Stan Lee's death announced. So it literally, what a bad day for Disney that was, for them to try to get attention for Toy Story 4. Literally, I was talking to people the next day, like in real life, and they didn't even know anything about the trailer. That's because there was so much news, bigger news that day, that it was just overshadowed completely. But yeah, I'll definitely go see Detective Pikachu trailer. I saw one person on Twitter actually say, I hope the Sonic film looks this good. It better look this good. I think what they were implying was actually the CGI and everything, and how the humans and whatnot interact, the interaction between the characters. We will see. Fingers crossed. Japan is never really a break when we go. So much walking. Yeah, we feel like you need a holiday when we get back. You need a holiday from a holiday. That's a good way to put it. Detective Pikachu trailer was hilarious. Yeah, admittedly, I would have rather have seen Danny DeVito voice Pikachu, but I'm happy with what we got. For some reason, you've never walked on the bridge, Celadon. Every time we take the Yukonamon. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I can never pronounce it right, but you put it there correctly. The Yukonamome train. I have that train. You get such amazing views as it's going over the bridge, and also going around Tokyo. I did take that a couple of times, I think, when I was out there. But you got to do the bridge one day. But if you're queasy with heights and moving platforms, because the bridge does move when you're on it, it shakes, then if you're fine with things like that, then you'll be fine. Especially when you remember you're near the ocean, you're at the ocean, and you're in an earthquake-prone country. But then that adds to the excitement, right? Toy Story's first trailer was a little weak anyway. I've not even seen it, so I'm going to take your judgment on there as fact. You think the Detective Pikachu trailer look also got my head of me thinking that Pikachu... Well, we might get that sort of look in for the Sonic film. We'll see. Can you imagine if it's not, and it looks... The Sonic movie is like... It literally looks like garbage in comparison, and the people that are working on the Sonic film right now, for instance, are looking at this Pikachu film and thinking, oh my god, how are we going to top that or even look as good as that? We are in trouble, because that could be happening right now. They could be thinking that, and we'll see, huh? It's guaranteed that as soon as this Sonic trailer comes out, that there's going to be comparisons. The Sonic CGI thing is more like Dragon Ball Z 4D rides. Maybe. Project Spark TM, you're asking, what is my favourite thing about the UK? Wow, that's favourite thing? That's quite a hard question. There's a lot of things I could say. There's a lot of bad things I could say as well, but I'm not going to go down those routes. Well, I'm not a fan really of super hot weather. Never been really a big fan of it, so I would say that I'm glad that we in the UK don't really got... Our weather's usually mild most of the year, so I'm quite happy with that. We don't really get that much of hot weather. I know we had quite a hot summer, but that was a rarity. But mild weather I like. But would I say that's my favourite? That's just one thing. Favourite. Oh dear. Yeah. Theresa May, right? If you are you don't know who that is, that's the Prime Minister of England. Not a very popular name with probably both political sides. It's not a favouritism name for either anyone that's either left, middle, or right. Yeah, let's not go down that route though. Have I read Watchmen or the movie? No, I haven't. This actually popped up earlier in the stream. Someone was talking about Watchmen. I haven't. Is it a Zack Snyder directed film, Watchmen? I think it is. I haven't got around to seeing it yet. I remember when it came out in the cinema, it had all this hype and everything, but I just, for some reason, never got around to seeing it. It's going to be on the list one day. You mustn't like Japan in August then. Oh man, I've been to Japan in September before, and the very beginning part of September as well, so it was still on the cusps of a very, very hot time, and yeah, it's brutal. But on the flip side, with Japan in summer, is everything is air-conned out there. Shops, hotels, houses, everything is air-conned. So there's that benefit to it. So I don't mind that. Whereas in the UK, nothing really has aircon other than big shops. But the reason because we don't have aircon built into our houses here is because we don't really get hot summers. So apart from rich people who have it in their big houses, there's no real need for them to build air conditioners in houses in the UK. But on a negative to that is when we do eventually get hot spells here, like this year for instance, it is a nightmare to be comfortable in your own houses and especially try to sleep. Yeah, you're going to take a shower, Brigade. Okay, thanks for the information there. If you can. How long am I streaming for? I'm not that sure. It's probably going to go on for about another hour, I'd say. So it is a Snyder film, Celadon. Thank you for filling me in there. I don't mind him. He's done some pretty good work. You wish Warner Bros. And DC make another Watchmen film? Maybe one day. Has there been rumours? I'm sure rumours have been circulating about a future Watchmen film. From what I heard from fans of the original comic of Watchmen, they were they enjoyed the film. You really want to go to Japan, Brigades, and one of your favourite Japanese bands, Morning Masumi, performs in Japan. Well, there you go. You've got 2 reasons to go there. It's one of your you really want to go, and it's one of your favourite bands. You'll get there one day, don't worry. Just like Hatsune Miku does. Yeah, awesome stuff. Miku, Vocaloid never performs in Arizona. They do Mexico and California. I suppose California is probably the closest one to you. Just trying to think what Arizona is on the map. It's like there, California. Yeah. They have done ones in London before in the UK, but I've not. They've not been on days that I've been available to get to London. So unfortunately, I've never been to one myself in person. Sonic had a comic with DC. Okay, I didn't know that. It's interesting. That could be fake news, but I thought I heard something about that. Okay. Did I know that Stan Lee died this week? Oh my goodness. Unless I was living under a rock and I had no access to internet, phones, or outside life or world, I probably wouldn't know about that. Yeah, so to answer your question, yes, I did know Stan Lee died. and there was quite a lot of people upset from what I saw on social media. But yeah, I never got the chance to see him at any of the convention attendance that he did over the many years he was doing it. I've had one of my friends has done it. Met him at a convention a couple of years ago, and he was out in Japan just last year. I believe it was the Christmas Comic Con. He was there. Stanley did like anime. In an interview, he said his favourite anime was My Hero, Boku no Hero. Oh, that's pretty awesome, right? Stan made the Reflection anime based off his love for My Hero, his favourite anime. Oh, that's a pretty cool story. Did anyone watch Sabrina on Netflix? Is this the old Sabrina? Or have they done a new one? Man, oh man, I'm really out of the loop if this is a new one. I don't have Netflix, so I might kind of have missed this. But the Archie, Sabrina and Sonic crossover comic, what was her response to that? And Stan made himself into an anime character. I can assume that the next Avengers film is probably going to have a dedication to him at the start of the film. I can imagine. There's a new one. Wow. Can they really top the original? I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing it's a new cast, right? Man, oh man. Back in the days with it was CITV, wasn't it? It wasn't BBC. Pretty sure. Was it CITV? Pretty sure it was. Stanley never got to make Ultimo manga. Yeah. Since he died, but still, man, what a life, eh? To make it to 95, that's no small feat right there. What a life. To see almost a century. Oof. The Netflix show is completely different, dark and satanic, but was hugely successful. Okay, you said it's critically acclaimed, but that's critically acclaimed. Do you think it's good? Is your opinion good? That's the important one, to get a real person tell me whether it's good or bad. That's what I'm interested in. Okay, yeah, I have seen that 4D ride before, JM. Looks interesting. That reminds me, I never actually got the chance to go to J World in Tokyo, which is a Shonen indoor theme park with obviously Shonen characters such as Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, the basketball anime. I can't remember the name of that one. It's so different they aren't really comparable. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Speaking of, well, you bring up Genesis does what Nintendo. I can't understand Sega at some points, because they're releasing the Mega Drive collection, or Genesis collection for you American viewers, on the Switch, right? They come out on the PS4 and Xbox One early this year, but it's finally getting a Switch version, right? Sega are releasing this game. Is it the 6th of December? Let me just check. Is it the 6th or the 7th? Let me just check on the calendar. The 7th, right? They're releasing it on the 7th of December. Now, what other game is coming out on the 7th of December? Why on earth would anyone in Sega decide to release that game on potentially the biggest Switch game of the year, at least, and maybe one of it's from its entire library? And I'm thinking, I wonder what game is going to sell more that day. You have to question some of Sega's decisions sometimes. Also, I've noticed that they've delayed the Sonic Racing game by 6 months. That was set for a December release, and now it's been delayed back till May. I mean, the game, from what they've described, has been finished because it's been playable at is it ERX, the Birmingham show, and I think it was at Comic Con, MCM. It was. I mean, I saw it played. It was playable when I was at Sonic's anniversary birthday in Joypolis back in June. It was playable. You had Takashi Iizuka there saying it. You had a competition with 2 people playing it. And now all of a sudden it's been delayed 6 months. So something's gone wrong here. And they've obviously got to do some serious work on it. But yeah, I'm getting a bit off topic here. Your girlfriend loves it. Everyone you know went nuts over it. You really enjoyed it, but it didn't quite live up to the hype. I was very hyped after hearing from friends. 80%. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, I'm probably going to miss it. I'm probably going to skip it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it was never like a die-hard fan of it. But it was enjoyable. It was always on like one of the last programs they had on CITV before it ended, like in the evening time. So it was kind of like one of them shows you watched at the end before you went and did something else in your own time. I'll never remember that. I forget that. Am I ready for the Mega Drive Mini? Well, that depends if it's actually being developed by Sega and not AT&T Games. I don't understand why Sega can't. Again, this is like I don't want to seem like I'm just continually knocking on Sega, but I don't understand. Sega were literally like the king of hardware back in the 90s, and now it's like they can't even develop their own technology again for a mini-based version of their system. They'd rather pay a third-party developer, and a pretty shoddy one at that. Not all of their products are shoddy, but a lot of them are AT&T Games. Nintendo and Sony can seem to release their own versions of their systems, but Sega can't. Admittedly, we haven't had the PlayStation Classic isn't out yet, but from what I've seen online and reviews of it, it seems to play the games it has fine. So yeah, if we can get a proper Mega Drive Mini, then for sure I'll be excited for that. There's a lot of games I would like to play that aren't Sega licensed ones. So if it was like built in, for the ones that are built-in games, you're only going to get first-party Sega games on it because of the licensing issues. And there's no way Sega are going to pay licenses again for third-party games. They don't. So yeah, I would like one where you can insert the systems, but excuse me a moment, bit of a throat issue. I am interested in looking to see the Poly Mega, which comes out next year. I'm not going to pre-order it until I see reviews of it, but it looks like a very interesting idea. It's a machine that can literally play mostly any retro consoles. If you don't know what it is, just Google Poly Mega and it'll bring up their website. Basically, it's a console, and you buy attachments for it for whatever system you want to play on it, whether it's Nintendo systems, Sega systems, vice versa. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how that does. I think the most exciting feature on it that I'm looking forward for is that it actually plays Sega Saturn, which in my opinion is one of the most underrated systems of all time. Celadon Sound. It's a shame one of my favourite games and consoles scared Sega away from hardware. Wish they could gather themselves and do it again. I couldn't agree more with you, Celadon, but that's probably never going to happen again, and never, ever again. That's kind of like Atari coming back into the console market. It's just not going to happen. Especially now that Sega's IPs are literally all third party. But I guess we should just be grateful that we lived and grew up in the era of when Sega was in that market, and it's a time that we will never forget. because I'll never forget. It was a really special time to be alive. The 90s was a very important decade for gaming. Probably, I'm tempted to say maybe the most important decade for gaming of all time, at least in modern times. And I'm not just saying that because I'm obviously a big Sega fan, but when you look at the leaps and bounds of graphics in the 90s, it was an incredible jump, much more so than today's standards. The jump from PS3 to PS4, although the graphics was like obviously much more vastly improved and whatnot, but it was still 3D models. It was just sort of higher resolution with more stuff added on it. You look at the graphics of 1990, 1991, we've gone from 8-bit graphics. And then you look up to 1999, we've gone to full 3D models. Really good looking models as well, because you look at the graphics of the Dreamcast in 1999, and that's in the space of 9 years. It's an incredible jump for graphical hardware in the 90s, which is why I think the 90s is a very important decade for gaming. It is made by Sega and THQ. Isn't THQ are they still around? I thought they'd gone. Does the Polymega use emulation? I haven't checked into that yet. I'm not entirely sure if it plays like the Retron 5 does, where it dumps the ROM, dumps part of the game on the ROM and kind of emulates it. I'm not entirely sure on that. I'll check on that first. Yeah, the 80s were definitely critical, but as you've just put there, open world and first person games, literally, the 90s literally set the benchmark for that stuff. If you didn't have games like GoldenEye, I honestly think the first person market of today would be different, very different. GoldenEye was so far ahead of its time that at least in the aspects of multiplayer shooting, it kind of set the benchmark of what multiplayer shooters should be like. The video is buffering. Might be your internet speed, Project Spark TM. I've got green health on my stream here, so maybe just refresh your page. It should hopefully kick it back into gear. But yeah, your question about the Polymega, I'm not entirely certain on that yet. I've seen a couple of people cover it, but I believe it comes out next year. Celadon says that the streaming is sweet your end. Well, that's awesome. Glad to hear it. Welcome to the Stream Gaming Ghost home video. I haven't seen you pop up here yet, so welcome to the stream. Great to have you here. And you ask me, how did I get into Sonic the Comic? I guess the easier way for me to answer that firstly is how did I got into Sonic the Comic due to my interest in Sonic the Hedgehog, the video games. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on both the Master System, Mega Drive, or Genesis if you're American. I was very much a fan of playing those games, and I was around 1993. I was obviously very young then. I remember still very clearly remember to this day, seeing Sonic the Comic issue 27, which was the current issue that had been released at that time, and I remember asking my parents to buy it, and it was around the Sonic CD game adaptation was being featured in the comic, and I was completely blown away with the art style that was drawn by Richard Elson. Completely blown away of how amazing it was, and it kind of drew me into that world. And I was a fan of it ever since. And I annually bought the comic every 2 weeks after that with the very little pocket money I had back then. It was always a part of something I picked up. I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was Wednesday the comic came out, it was head straight down to my local newsagent, pick it up. Some days I would go down there incredibly early just to get it. But yeah, that would be how I got into Sonic the Comic. Around 1993, was it 3 or 4? I think it was 4. When did issue 27 come out? I should know this because I've read the thing so many times, but my brain's gone a little blank tonight. Let me load the picture up. Okay, 1994, sorry, of course, because Sonic the Comic actually came out in 1993, 29th of May. It was 27, which was the first anniversary issue. For those that are curious, it is this one. That is the one. That was the very first issue of Sonic the Comic I got. I doubt it was on its release date of 27th of June, so it would have been in the 2 weeks between that issue and issue 28. I never actually got issue 28. I must have missed out on that one, and it took me years and years and years before I found out what the finale was to the Sonic Terminator arc. Next time I go to Japan, find some time. You know, I really did think of trying to do something like that out there. I would have to do it on my phone, of course, but I would like to. I did think about doing it, but the time zones would have been so different. For instance, if I did an evening stream out there, like say 8 in the evening, then it would be 11 in the morning in the UK. But unfortunately, I ran out of time. I could have done something in the hotel, I suppose, but next time I'll definitely try to get something done, settled on. And next time you may even be out there before me. So, what's my opinion on Sonic Heroes? I haven't played it for quite a few years, but I got the game on launch and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I managed to 100% the game, and I liked it. At the time, it got really good reviews. It got very good reviews, and a lot of people are probably too young to know who were in this stream. But during that time, it was a pretty big game for what it was, because it was the very first Sonic game to be featured on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. It even had on the box art cover, it's the first time ever Sonic on PS2, and also first time ever on Xbox. What they did on the cover for the GameCube one is they just basically put all new Sonic, because until that time it had only been Sonic Adventure 1, 2 and Mega Collection had been released on the GameCube, which are obviously games that have been re-released on the GameCube. It was like technically the first brand new game on GameCube. But yeah, I liked it. I hadn't played it for, as I said, quite a while, but I will go back to it maybe some point and see if it's as good as I truly remember. Welcome to the stream, Omari Clements. Great to see you back here. I remember your name. That comic meant so much to you. You remember exactly where you read and bought so many issues. Yeah, same here. Issue 1 from Sainsbury's. Oh man. You actually remember getting issue 1. That is pretty awesome. Yeah, it became so much harder to get hold of these issues as the comic's lifespan went on. In fact, the only place I remember selling Sonic the Comic towards the end of its lifespan was Sainsbury's, and it was a big Sainsbury's that I lived near. Well, it wasn't lived near, it was like still It's still like 6 miles away, but it was the only shop that actually sold them. All the newsagents and Tesco, Asda, well, there wasn't an Asda where I lived at the time, but they didn't stock it. But during the hype of Sonic the Comic, which I'd say 94 to like 90, probably 94 to like 98, 94 to 98, the hype of Sonic the Comic is much more, it was very easy to accessible in most newsagents. It was awesome. You had to order it to you from WH Smith's. You know, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I never actually got the subscription to it. I don't know why I never considered asking my parents to do it, because they may well have agreed to it, but I don't know why. I kind of got the impression that I wanted to go out and buy it myself for some reason. It never crossed my mind to actually consider getting a subscription sent to me. Yeah, I can still remember specifically, as you said, some issues, some more than others, going there and getting the issue and remembering reading it there at the time, or taking it home and reading it. Obviously, there's obviously 200 issues, so over 200 issues. So I can't remember all of them, but I could probably remember at least 15 or so issues specifically of me going to get it. Maybe between 15 and 20 of me specifically going and getting it. It might even be a little bit more. If I was to look at the cover and the issue, hold it in my hand, I might be able to jog those memories back. But just me sitting it now, I can remember at least between 15 and 20 of those issues going to get them. And the story of me getting it. Just pretty awesome. Your mum just did it for me because it became too much hassle. That's pretty awesome. You have Sonic the Comic issue 1 signed by Richard Elson. That is indeed how you spell it. Next to your Miles plush. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Welcome to the stream, Vertix. I believe I've pronounced that right. And is that? Yeah. Just checking that. What's my opinion on Dragon Ball Z? I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. It's my favourite anime, and also one of the very first animes I ever watched, and it's always had an important place here, and yeah, I love it. I love Dragon Ball Z, and I'm definitely one of those people that is Z over Kai. It's just sort of a controversial thing. Some people seem to say now everyone's Kai, but I've always would rather watch a Z over Kai. You wish Sega able to translate the Sonic. Sega able to translate Sonic the Comic to English in America. What do you mean translate? It already is in English. Do you mean re-release the comic in America? I'm not sure what you mean there. Yeah, you know what I mean, Celadon. Absolutely, remembering those. You still have that same issue 1 picked up in Sainsbury's, but I haven't checked the box in a while. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to check that one day, and hopefully the condition is held up. It's a very awesome piece to have, Project Spark. It's a great start. Controversial, but you like Dragon Ball GT, particularly the first arc where they just piss about traveling between planets. Yeah, I mean, when GT aired, I didn't know all the details. This is obviously, I didn't have internet or anything like that, so I didn't know that it wasn't technically considered canon, and it didn't have nothing to do with Toriyama. I just automatically thought this is the official story. I'd never read the manga at that point. It wasn't accessible really in the UK. But I just thought GT was the official continuation for Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I did enjoy it at the time. But now when I look back on it, I can see that it's a very fundamentally flawed show. But I do think the first arc is a good one. And it did have some very colourful characters in the show. Was it General Locke? I think that was right, wasn't it? He was one of the bad guys for the first season. I mean, Baby was a good villain. It kind of felt a bit ridiculous when they had the whole when they turned Cell and Freezer into an absolute joke. They had so much potential for that arc, and then it just floundered. And it was good that 17 was made into like a main big villain again, but he was kind of destroyed quite quickly. And yeah, the Dragon Saga at the end, it wasn't bad. Omega Shenron again was a pretty cool villain, but it ended. It had a pretty poor ending. But it's certainly not an unwatchable show, and I could still watch it and enjoy a lot of the episodes for it. But I got to admit, I am glad that Super has officially erased it from any official continuity that it might have had. It's good that it's there because it can be looked at as like another continuity to Dragon Ball Z, like another split in the time gap thing. Like fans can look at it and think, oh, it's literally a what if saga now. Basically, that's what GT is, and that's great. If you can just look at it as a what if and fun. I will say this though, GT has an very awesome intro theme. One of the best anime intro themes. Above anything, it's got one of the best intro themes for an anime I've ever listened to. You like the original Dragon Ball Vertex? The original Dragon Ball was awesome too. Are English kind of different from your a little bit? Are you kind of talking about American English or just English? Omari. Sorry, I need to have a drink. Throat's a little bit dry. Would you like either soap shoes or Sonic's shoes for Christmas? As in just the shoes, right? As in if it was like a trainer. Probably Sonic shoes. They're a little bit. They're a bit more. They're a bit more. I don't know. Actually, the soap shoes kind of do look a lot more like a traditional trainer, and I do like wearing good quality trainers. We'll say soap shoes. They do look pretty cool. I'll swerve it there. It has more character development than Goten. Yeah, they kind of really... Goten literally had no screen time in GT at all, really, did he? He was one of the characters they kind of cut from it completely. Yeah, the rest of Dragon Ball GT, not so much. Pan from GT was the worst. She's the first female character to never go Super Saiyan, but then that kind of makes her unique as well. I think she was deliberately made to be annoying. Yeah, see, you know the intro theme, Celadon. What are my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super? Okay, so in honesty, I enjoy it. Alright, there's bits on it that, as you will with any long anime, there's going to be some boring bits in it. There's quite a few episodes that can be quite a bit boring, but overall, it's a solid show. And I am really happy with the direction that they're going with for it and its story. As I said, if you compare it to GT, then my gosh, it literally obliterates it. But I know it did get a bit criticised, especially the earlier parts of Super, with some poor animation in areas, and there are some instances where the animation is a little bit poor, but they have kind of corrected some of that from what I've seen on the Blu-ray releases. I enjoyed it, and I really, really enjoyed the tournament arc towards the end. The Durin and fight between Goku and Frieza is that's honestly one of the best episodes from the entire series, not just Super. That was a really, really awesome and so well animated episode. Literally blew me away, the animation for that episode. I'm looking forward to the film, of course, the Broly film, which is coming out in a month. That has a tremendous amount of hype out in Japan. When I saw it out there, there was so many advertisement billboards, posters. It was like when I was in Akihabara one night, they had a massive Broly statue there. It was yeah, very much looking forward to that. Dragon Ball GT is not worse than Sonic X. It's kind of a bit of an unfair comparison because they're two totally different shows with different tones. But yeah, I guess it depends what your preference is with a show. You're heading off to McGuinness Expert. Well, thank you for joining me on the stream this night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining. All the best. You'll be right back, Project Spark. Okay, see you soon. Dragon Ball The Path to Power movie was okay. Just hated the Goku rage after Android 8's death. Yeah. I guess the thing with the movies is that they're never really, well, they're not canon. It's only the Super ones that are considered it. You're concerned with Dragon Ball Super, and you haven't got much authority, seeing as I've only seen some of it. I liked how with Dragon Ball Z, there was progression. Yeah, yes, Roshi does compete. He actually does fight a couple of times. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I can understand your concerns about not seeing characters grow up, but they are going to continue the series after the Broly film. So maybe we'll get some more character development with Trunks and Goten. That would be pretty funny. Okay, so we've got a new user on the stream. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it, so maybe someone else will. I'm afraid I'm not going to try to say that. I will get it wrong for certain. What's my favourite Dragon Ball Z movie? Okay. Canon-wise, it would be Resurrection F, mostly because I'm such a big fan of Frieza. If you're talking about the non-canon films, then it would probably be The Return of Cooler. That was an awesome film. The one where he comes back as Meta Cooler and it's on the new Namek. Really enjoyed that film. Had a really good battle scene between Meta Cooler, Goku, and Vegeta. To be fair, quite a few of the non-canon films were good. You know, I was never too big a fan of the Broly trilogy, so that's why I'm quite excited to see that him being done properly in canon and giving him some justice. I hope it's going to be done better. It looks it from the trailers. The trailers have definitely sold me. You would like to see Trunks and Goten and return? Yeah, absolutely. Trunks and Goten are awesome characters. It was great to see them get like the spotlight for a little bit during the Fusion saga in Dragon Ball Z. Well, thank you for subscribing, Brynjolf. I'm going to say it there as you wrote it there. But yeah, thank you very much for joining and subscribing. If Sonic X did better, despite screwing writing, animations, and not giving Chris Thorndike, well, I don't know. I wouldn't consider Sonic X a failure. It did well, especially in Japan, and it had a lot of episodes made for it. An anime is not going to have episodes produced for it if it's not performing well. And I mean, it had, was it 3 seasons? 3 seasons, and it went to, it was about 70 episodes, I think. It was around that sort of number. So for a show to get to around 70 episodes is definitely not considered a failure. It's not to everyone's cup of tea. I can understand that. I was never on this Chris Thorndike hatred that everyone else was. I never kind of truly understood that. He may have had a bit too much screen time, and he kind of was a little bit of a replacement for Towers, but if that was real life, and you know, a lot of kids his age, if it was real, would have wanted to have latched on to Sonic the Hedgehog and wanted to have been like that in real life, and would not have wanted to have let him and his fun characters leave the world and back into the miserable world that we have. But yeah, I enjoyed Sonic X for what it was. Your favourite DBZ movies were the AMVs. I've downloaded a real player in 2001. Yeah, Android 13 is a good film. Wrath of the Dragon. Yeah. Some good ones. I was an old complaining git who didn't like to advertise the adventure redesigns, and you enjoyed Sonic X, so it must have done something right. Yeah, you know, absolutely. I keep reminding myself that I want to go and rewatch Sonic X at some point. It's been quite a while since I've seen it. I might try to track out the Japanese dubbed version of it with English subtitles. Your favourite movie is the non-canon movie, The Tree of Might. It was a good film. That was with oh man, what was the villain's name? It was the one that looked like Goku. Turlos. Can't ever pronounce his name. It's something like that. Yeah. A Sonic X reboot might work. I'd be up for that. Or even, to be fair, a new season of Sonic X. Which is not going to happen. They're not going to do a new season for an anime that ended, blimey, 13 years ago? Something like that. It's not impossible, but, you know, I very much doubt it. Some people out there are still holding out for a Satam Season 3. They still think it's going to happen. Oh man, they might be waiting for a long time. You loved seeing Sonic jump from the tornado and turn supersonic in the intro. Yeah, that was really cool. Man, that was awesome. It was CITV that started. That was my first introduction to Sonic X. I missed the first 2 episodes, which was it wasn't really advertised and I had no internet back then, so I didn't know when it was airing. And oh yeah, I remember episode 3. It was the Missile Risk episode. Eventually, it went on to Fox Kids, right? And then, or Jetix, and then it went to. You want a Tyson He Sonic Mania Adventures Full Blown series? Oh yeah, he's the artist for the comics, right? He did the animations for the intro to Sonic Mania. Very cool. Yeah, you got the name right, Jahim. I sometimes don't pronounce his name right, but he was an interesting, pretty fun character. Another Goku alike. to the end of the chat box now. So yes, for those that didn't join at the start of the stream, as you probably guessed the title of the stream, it is indeed the road to 3 million, because I am very close to the 3 million view mark, very close, and that's an incredible milestone. And I'm really excited to cross that threshold. Admittedly, the algorithm has certainly hit my channel like it has many other small channels, and it has slowed down my growth immensely. But it will eventually get there, and I'm very close. Maybe in about a month, if not maybe a little bit sooner or later, I'm going to hit that 3 million mark, and that's a really awesome achievement. And there will definitely be some sort of video celebrating that. You wish a Sonic X remastered by Funimation would work. It would remaster all the animations. Yeah, it could work. Funimation are a big company. Some of their dubs aren't that good, but some of them are good. Not all of them are, no. Can someone teach you what the difference is between Red God Goku and Blue God Goku? Oh dear, this is when you. This is yeah, the whole power grading and transformations. It can get a bit confusing, right? How do I explain this? You might need to get another Dragon Ball Z fan here to write out the paragraph explanations to this. But yeah, Goku originally did go to Super Saiyan God level, which is the red one, which is a really cool design, to be honest with you, because it's kind of like he went actually skinny. If you look at the design, his muscle growth decreased, and he had the red hair. It was a really awesome design. And then, of course, he went to the next level, blue. So it is interesting why you've got Vegeta going red. I guess we're going to know more when the film comes out. But yeah. Super Saiyan Blue. Super Android 13. It was a good movie, James. To be fair, I suppose it's probably a harder question to say a bad Dragon Ball, a Dragon Ball Z film. Tell me a bad one. Which was a bad one out of the ones that were released? That might be a harder one. Yeah, Shadow had a form similar to Super Saiyan God Red Goku and Vegeta, called Dark Shadow or Chaos Shadow in Shadow the Hedgehog. But it's not a form, it's a gauge move. Yeah, that's right, man. It's been a long time since I've played that game. Completely forgot about that. Dead Zone. Nah. I'll give you that. That wasn't great. But it did give us the Garlic Jr. sort of filler saga that we got in Dragon Ball Z, which was pretty awesome, to be honest with you. For a filler saga, it was pretty good. And I think give it props because it gave screen time to characters like Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo, and it took the main characters out of the equation and gave you a lot of focus on them, which I thought was really cool. And it was a really good gap in between the Frieza saga and the Trunks saga, because the problem I have with Kai is it's so rushed that there's no chance for a breather, and there's no chance to see character development that much for the other characters. So when you had the Garlic Jr. saga finish, and all of a sudden you see the hype that you're like, oh crap, like Frieza's back, because that's how it builds it up, and it builds it up really, really well. Because you think, oh my god, he's going to come to Earth, and what's he going to do? He's like going to literally kill everyone. Of course, that doesn't happen because Trunks arrives, but the build up, the break from it worked really, really well. And with Kai, this is the problem I have with it. The Frieza saga ends, and literally the next episode, it's Frieza's back again on Earth, and there's no build to it. There's no build to it at all. You remember watching the movie where Goku first turns into a god? Yeah, that was the very first film, Battle of Gods. That was before Super even come out. You saw it in the cinema. That's pretty awesome. I had to wait until it was released before I saw it. The cinemas around me are useless. You liked the animation in BoJack? Yeah, it's good. Garlic Jr. was horrible. He was a rip-off of Emperor Pilaf. He wasn't that bad. As I said, for a filler saga, it was pretty decent. If it was like a full-fledged story, as I said, it gave good screen time for the other characters, and it gave you that relaxation period between the big sagas and the big battles incoming. And the whole thing of the world could potentially end because he opened the dead zone and everything. It was good, and to see him finally get sent to the dead zone at the end for all eternity, it was a good payoff to see him go. As I said, for filler, when I think bad filler, I mean, my God, if you look at Naruto, especially Shippuden, it's a great anime. Don't get me wrong, it's got great anime, fantastic animation, and great battles and characters. But my God, that has got some terrible filler in it. Terrible, and I mean terrible, terribly uninteresting filler stories. But when I think of like the Garlic Jr. saga as a filler saga, is pretty decent. Toriyama said, "Is a day Wrath of the Dragon is canon." Well, I don't know. I don't recall seeing the interview, and the problem is with that statement is that none of the events of that film have been brought up again in Super, so that kind of does contradict it a little bit. You completely agree with about the build-up in Dragon Ball. So, you see, sometimes, yeah, you're absolutely right. Some can be slow, but you kind of do need that slowdown period to give that gravitation towards the big movement. Another example is the Cell games. Obviously, the build-up for it, because Cell gives them 10 days before the Cell games start. Admittedly, there was a couple episodes that were a little bit like, slow, to try to use a good word, but it built up to the conclusion of like, oh, I can't wait to see the Cell games start. Something else I was afraid Dragon Ball Super might be lacking. Yeah, I'll give it its due. It has got some slowdown periods in Super. There are some filler episodes in it, which I think is good. I think filler is good if done properly and it doesn't ridiculously extend the show length to a stupid level. But I mean, it's 140 episodes at the moment, which is pretty good, and it's going to continue. But I think you'll enjoy Super. It's great. It's not perfect. You know, I may be a Dragon Ball diehard fan, but I'm not like a fanboy to the point where I can ignore some areas that aren't that great, or it does get a bit slow. But so it is a really enjoyable show, and you will enjoy it, Celadon. If you like anything Dragon Ball, you'll enjoy it. You always ask people, did Super better than Sonic X, or Sonic X would have been better before? Hang on, I'm trying to understand what your question is there. You always ask people, has Super done better than Sonic X? Well, that's a pretty easy yes. The show is an immense success. But then just the IPs themselves, Dragon Ball is immensely more popular in Japan than Sonic the Hedgehog is. when I was out on the trains there, this a couple of weeks ago, the fitness products they've got out there at the minute have been promoted by Goku. You know what I mean? I was like, that's awesome, right? You got fitness protein stuff, and there's like a picture of Goku working out on a train. The train when you're just going somewhere. As I said, Dragon Ball is immensely more popular. Dragon Ball Kai removed. Well, it didn't remove all errors. There were still some errors in it. And yeah, well, it not only did it remove filler arcs, it actually removed some canon stuff as well. It kind of really, really sped it up. And there were some canon scenes that were in the manga that were actually removed from removed from the manga, and also was that were in the manga, sorry, and was removed from Kai. As I said, I'm not a too big fan of Kai. The training for the arrival of the Saiyans, journey into Namek, Guarded Junior, waiting for the Cell Games. Yeah, exactly. All great examples, and not just for that show. It's a great example of how to do filler properly. You know, really great examples. Really adds to that build. I think one of the best filler episodes from Dragon Ball Z, and it's got kind of a little bit of a cult following, this episode, is the one where Goku and Piccolo try to get their driving licenses. That's a hilarious episode. And that's how, you know, and it's only a one episode spin-off as well. It's not like a continually loads of episodes focused on it, but it's just before the Android saga. It's a really funny episode. One of my favourite filler episodes from the show. Remember Ready to Rumble by David Arquette? You talking about the video game? I'm not entirely sure there, Jaheim. Yeah, ridiculous, but you love it. I mean, the most ridiculous factor is that Piccolo even went along with it, and he was wearing that clothing. Man, I don't understand why they've not brought his clothing attire in that episode as like an alternative outfit for the games. That'd be awesome. You see, it's funny bits like that, and it's kind of like, you know, you need those, to me, to watch it. You know, when you completely cut everything like out there, and don't get me wrong, the dub for Kai is pretty decent. It does follow the manga a lot closely. I wasn't a big fan of some of the new voiceovers that Funimation brought in for Kai. I wasn't a big fan of some of them. I'm still not. I still prefer some of the original voice actors they had for Z. But I think a problem with Kai is with some of the retouched areas of the animation is that it really, really stands out, and not in a good way. Because I feel like when you're watching a show, you shouldn't be distracted by things. Your focus should be on the show. And when you're watching Kai, and then you get one of the retouched scenes come up, where like you see they've touched the entire frame up and they've put more colour and whatnot in it, it really stands out completely different to how the next scene immediately follows, and vice versa. And when you see that, your brain automatically clicks thinking, oh look, that's a retouched scene, and then it pops up again, you'll be like, oh, it's another retouch, another. It kind of takes you out of the show a little bit. I think in a way Z may have had some coloured errors in some of the episodes, but it didn't, as the colour palettes were exactly the same, it didn't it didn't take your brain out of what you was watching. I don't want to kind of seem like I'm just continually crapping on Kai here. Because, it has got a lot of good things about it, but for me, it's not for me. Ready to Rumble, the film by Artek and Dub. Oh yeah, I remember that film. Of course. David Artek, yeah, the former world heavyweight champion. Most people will say the worst ever world heavyweight champion in history. You know, fair dues to them. But you got to remember, the fact that people are still talking about that to this day goes to show you how much of an impact it made. Yeah, I get. Yes, he's Celadon. You're saying you never watched Kai because I don't want to miss any of the bits. And you speak to a lot of the younger audience now, the younger fans who have kind of grew up with Kai. They will immediately turn around and say, "Oh, Dragon Ball Z is garbage. Like it's Kai or nothing." And it's like, no, yeah. It's got to be Z. To be honest with you, the best way I watch it is with the Blu-ray releases they did for it. They did really, really good transfer qualities for that, the Blu-ray releases. I've got most of the seasons above me right up there. That to me is the best way for me to watch the show. A lot of people say the Dragon Box version is the best way to watch Dragon Ball Z, but that's become so rare and collectible over the years, you would spend hundreds of pounds trying to get it. You watch Kai and all of the DBZ films on Nicktoons. Well, that's great. We don't get Kai aired in the UK, at least last time I checked. And another problem, if you watched Dragon Ball Z before and then you watch Kai and you're very familiar with the series, you're going to be watching episodes that you know, and you're going to be waiting for a scene to happen, only to not see it happen and it's completely cut out. And you're like, hang on, didn't such and such do that? Where is that scene? And it's completely gone. You don't like the colours on people's faces in Dragon Ball Z. Okay, then. You have the DVD remasters. Is that the orange brick sets? What you've got there, Celadon? Yeah, I mean, if you think they look good, then my God, you've got to check out the Blu-rays. They've done a tremendous job upscaling it to Blu-ray, and there's a lot more picture on the frame. They're kind of like it's hard for me to describe. It's in like a much better widescreen format than the DVDs were. Much better. You get so much more on the screen that was cut out on the DVD releases. Yeah, orange boxes, as you said. If you just so much as Google and see a comparison between how much the camera was zoomed in on the DVD orange brick sets compared to the Blu-rays, you'd be shocked. Yeah, as you said there, it was cut. David Artek didn't kill WCW, Vince Russo did. Russo didn't know that Artek was a huge... Yeah. You make points there. But it's an interesting fact to say, Jahim, is that a lot of people say that WCW's ratings were like part of its killing reason why it died, but the ratings that WCW had during its end were still better than the ratings we're getting now for WWE Raw. So remember that. You won't ever see WWE talking about that. You had the VHSs as well, and so much more on those. And I don't think I ever actually had the VHSs. I had the proper old school DVDs of some of the sagas. I don't mean like the orange brick sets. It was like really the old DVDs that had the first dub they did for the show. Max Nystrom, I think I pronounced that right there. Well, welcome to the stream. First time I've seen you pop up on here. Other comic in Sonic the Comic that is not Sonic that you like? I think you're asking me other comics that I like that are not Sonic the Comic. Okay. Ooh, I'm not too much a big fan of the Marvel comics and what they're doing now. It's kind of like, oof. I quite like the Turtles comics, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've always been quite a fan of them. They've kind of kept a steady writing quality with them, even back from the original dark comics that were when I mean dark, I mean they were really dark, paced. But yeah, Turtles for me. You only have one on the Blu-ray, that is The History of Trunks, an episode of Bardock. It's good films. The History of Trunks was a really fun and quite dark film. And I liked the episode of Bardock, even if they've completely changed. It looks like they've completely changed the story of that now, canon-wise, compared to what we see in the Broly film. Welcome to the stream, GB. Great to see you here. I'm probably going to be wrapping this stream up sometime soon, but I'm going to reply a little bit more to you guys for a little bit longer, but I will be going soon. But GB, you're asking me what various video game collectibles are desired. Sonic Adventure 2 plush set, Resaurus. Is the Mario Party 5 plush set sought after? You see, when it comes to Mario merchandise, I'm a little bit out of the loop. Mario Party set, Parrot Party 5 set. That's interesting. The first releases of the Sonic Pop figures seem to be quite sought after. The VHSs were cool because of how they lined up and made amazing art. Yeah, absolutely. I never owned them, but I remember seeing that, and that looked really, really cool. What are your thoughts on Daniel Bryan winning the belt? This actually popped up a little bit earlier in the stream, but as you wasn't there, I'm going to recap on what I said now, Mr. Ty Gaga, which is great to have you on the stream here, by the way. I think it's really good. It's very rare nowadays in wrestling to have something unpredictable happen. And I don't think anyone could have called that happening on an episode of SmackDown. It was a complete shock twist that come out of nowhere. And I think Daniel Bryan's going to put all of his effort and heart into making this heel turn work well. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really that excited for Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of both of them as wrestlers, but we've had the match last year. We didn't really need it again. So now I'm really excited to have this what some people are going to call dream match between Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. So yes, I'm all for Daniel Bryan winning the belt. If it means a heel turn, which some people may not like because he's such a fan favourite, then so be it. I'm all for a heel turn. In Sonic 06 there's a Sonic Man. No, it wasn't a mod. There was a real Sonic Man in it. Do I have any other comic collections outside of Sonic? No, not anymore, I'm afraid. I used to have some others, but I had to sell them in the past I needed money. But yeah, I did at one point have, I know it's also Sonic related, but I did have nearly an entire Archie Sonic comic set, but I have had to get rid of that. Now it's pretty much just Sonic the comic in my collection. That's the only one I won't get rid of. Yeah, I feel your pain. They've changed Bardock canon. They've changed it a little bit. I don't, also the Freezer appearance as well, because he's not wearing his signature battle vest as well. I'm like, what? Why are you not wearing your vest? What's going on here? I know it's a silly thing, but it's just a clothing attire, but they've changed it, and it's just kind of changed everything. But we'll see. We'll wait till we see the full thing, right? Do I know Toy Story 2? Sure, I went to see it at the cinema. Man, oh man. I remember seeing it. Must be a few years ago now. Did WCW Slamboree 2000, did it do worse? I'm not entirely sure. I know December to Dismember was one of their worst ever, lowest rated pay-per-views. Welcome back to the stream, Project Spark TM. I'm probably going to be wrapping this stream up sometime soon, but welcome back for the time that you are here. I think I've just reached the end of the chat box, which is pretty cool. It's currently almost 10 minutes past midnight here in the UK. Remember TMNT 2007? Of course. You mean the animation? The animated series? Or the comic? The 2003 TMNT animation series is actually my favourite incarnation of Turtles. Man, oh man, I love that show. You wish you knew more about wrestling. Well, it's always. I'm pretty sure wrestling is always going to be here, and it's always perfect opportunity to get into it. Vince McMahon is still indeed knocking around and is still very much in control of the company and runs the shows. He's there. He was. When was he last on television? It was quite recent. It was on an episode of SmackDown a couple of weeks ago. He's still about. He's not on television much nowadays, no. He doesn't really do much, but he's still there. Slamboree, 55,000 buys, December. Oh, that is quite a difference. Both are obviously really bad. I know they're still having a huge problems with ratings at the minute for their Raw and SmackDown. I have a funny feeling that's why they're going to put AJ Styles on Raw to try to give it a ratings based. But what do you guys think is going to be the main event of this year's WrestleMania? Well, I mean this year's, I mean in April, or is it March? It's one of the two. Things keep changing, right? At the moment, the bookies have Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch as a favourite to be the main event. I can't see that happening. not as the main event. It was originally, the bookies had Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey as the WrestleMania main event as the favourite, but that's changed. The odds have changed on that now because she's obviously facing her at Survivor Series due to Becky Lynch's injury. But the second favourite the bookies have is Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. That could, I think, is a safe bet. That could well be the main event. It's pretty certain that The Undertaker is going to be at this year's WrestleMania, and it's going to be his final WrestleMania. That is, I think it's going to be his final match forever. That I'm pretty certain of, because he's going to be doing a tour of the UK. I think the month or two after that, he's going to be doing a Q&A show, and that pretty much means that his time with the company will be over after that, because usually when wrestlers' contracts ends with WWE, then they go and do private things that they want to do. So the fact that Undertaker's doing that pretty much means that he's after Mania, he's done. In the late 90s, you watched a bit. You always enjoyed the Evil Corporation plotline. Oh man, they still do the Evil Corporation thing to this day. It's changed so much, but there's always still some Evil Corporation. But the 90s was definitely the hype of wrestling. I don't think it will ever be. I don't think it will ever get back to that sort of level of how mainstream it was back then, with the whole Attitude Era. But you know, Daniel Bryan's got a beard. That's true, and he's now the WWE champion. That Eggman flash in the background. Yeah, that's right. You can see it. What are your favourite wrestler intro themes? Oh man, there's so many iconic ones, right? It's so hard to think. When I was just talking about Undertaker, for instance, but I don't think you can think of a more iconic intro for a wrestler than that. You know, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Hulk Hogan, even that's such a iconic intro theme. Man, there's just so many. Kurt Angle, Edge, Christ, Randy Orton. There's just so many. It's hard for me to say. Let's choose a few. If Raw and SmackDown ratings dropped down more, I would say that WWE are going down the same route as WWE. Well, they're pretty much at the same level for ratings as WCW in the end of their era. But the WWE has a lot more competition when it comes to televisions now and getting those ratings. And a lot of people don't have 3 hours to sit down and watch Monday Night Raw. So a lot of people are now literally watching clips that they find off YouTube, which the WWE has. And when it comes to internet, the WWE YouTube channel is one of the top 10 YouTube channels in the world. They're in the top 10. They've got over 30 million subscribers now, and that channel is continually growing. They must be making an absolute fortune off their channel, because they upload anywhere from to 20 videos a day. So a lot of the money that they're making now is coming from internet views, whereas back in that era it was obviously cable ratings. Yeah, Hulk Hogan's real American. It was so weird because they just brought Hulk Hogan back, and it was a very, very controversial Saudi Arabia pay-per-view they've done, and they had Hulk Hogan coming out to the real American theme in Saudi Arabia. It was like, yeah, and it just seemed a bit strange, especially because they've got there's that whole shady stuff going on at the minute with that reporter that's been killed, that American one, and then all of a sudden you've got Hulk Hogan come out to an American. Oh dear. Yeah, Edges, you think you know me? Awesome, fan. What do you think makes a good Sonic game? Ooh, that's a tough question. I think a very important factor is that a game needs development time. It needs a lot of development time, and this is a factor we've seen for previous Sonic games, that they have been rushed out, they have been glitched, and they've not been tested properly. So a Sonic game needs a lot of development time and to go through a lot of tests and bug tests. If you can do that, I think we get a solid game. As I've said this many a times on videos, I think if Sonic 06 had another 6 months to another year in development, although it wouldn't have fixed the story and it would have still been plot hole and whatnot, I think we would have got an overall much better gaming experience from that, and it would no way have got the the everyone hating on it to this day. It's like a daily thing, right? If that had that much more development time, would have had a much better game. Momentary based physics. I thought Crown Jewel was alright, to be fair. I was, it had a couple of boring matches, but I was okay with it. I was really glad to see Brock Lesnar win the Universal Championship again. More so just to see how many people got angry about it on the internet. Oh, man. The wrestling fans are just, it's pretty toxic. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it's up there with the Sonic fandom, with just how toxic some of these fandoms can be, and the wrestling fan base is just the same, if not worse. But yeah, it's just I'm not even going to get involved. Abstract colours and designs. Yeah, Celadon Sound's putting some really good things here between really good ideas here for a good Sonic game. Do you think the UK will break ties with Saudi Arabia after the incident? That's not going to happen. It never will happen because, of the influence that, I'm not going to go too far being deep in this, but political influence, oil, money. It's one of the richest countries in the world. There's a lot of corruption and whatnot lies in it, but yeah, regardless of what things happen, they're not gonna. It's not gonna. But I'm not gonna go into details on that. N64 3DO. I've never actually played the 3DO, so it's got to be the N64 Project Spark. Why are so many fandoms toxic these days? Oh my gosh, yeah. The internet is a great place. It gives a lot of people freedom and a lot of people, chance to meet. Like, for instance, the internet is giving me the opportunity now to speak to you really awesome people here on YouTube. The internet's a great place. The internet is also a very bad place because it now has the ability to give everyone a voice, and a lot of these people who have these voices think that their opinion is automatically correct, and if it's not correct, then they're going to go mad and flame, hate, spam, whatever you want to call it. So now that everyone has a voice, we have all these people who are, how do I describe it? Not good. So you're going to get a lot of flaming, hating, yada yada. People, you're never going to have a place where everyone's going to be happy. Yeah, I think that's a result of it. Sonic, as you've got there, Star Wars. Although I must admit, I can totally understand the hate that Star Wars is getting now with their new films, which are terrible. I'm not going to say like I don't agree with flaming and hating and stuff on it. I mean, I detest, to be honest with you, the latest films they've been doing of it, but I'm not going to start going on the internet and flaming and putting comments and hating it and attacking actors that have been a part of the film. Because that's what happened with what was it? The Last Jedi. Not only a bad Star Wars film, it's probably one of the worst films I've ever seen, but some of the actors, I can't remember which one it was now, but was getting like a tremendous amount of hate attacked online, and I was like, well, it's not their fault that the film was so bad. They were just working with the scripts they were given. Just people yeah. Nah, I'm not going to go into it anymore. It's crazy. If Tao's spin-off title would happen, Shadow the Hedgehog would not exist in 2005. Well, I suppose technically Tao's has already had some spin-off games. Look no further than the Game Gear. Tao's Adventures, Tao's Sky Patrol. It looks very unlikely in today's market that we're going to ever have a spin-off Sonic game featuring a character that's not got Sonic the Hedgehog in it. I can't see Sega ever actually doing it again, to be honest. More than Smash fans hating Goku being in Smash. Oh dear. Hating the films, it's fine. Yeah, as I said, it's fine to hate, and I just find that if you don't like something, then just click off it or don't even click on it to begin with. Don't start going on some article that's either defending or hating on something you like and going on there to just try to get a reaction or just fuel some fire. It's not worth it. Just move on and do something more productive with your life. Ah, dear. Hey, welcome to the stream, Kitro Classic 93. Great to have you here. The best Sonic game is Sonic Labyrinth. Oh, man. Well, the concept is Sonic Labyrinth is a bad game. It's a bad Sonic game, right? But the game sets out well with what it was meant to do, and it was meant to make Sonic slow, and it worked. Like, for what it is, it wasn't a glitchy or buggy game. The concept was there. If it wasn't a Sonic the Hedgehog game and it was just some new made character, it probably would have been better received. But as I said, I don't enjoy playing it one bit. But the idea that developers had, I mean, what on earth someone was thinking, a group of people thinking, let's make a Sonic game and make him slow. But the idea, what they set out for, it worked for what they wanted. Does that make it a good game? No. Yeah, we was talking a little bit about this earlier, Jahim, about Team Sonic Racing delayed until May. I don't know why. The game's been playable at conventions, so it's like it is finished. I don't know why. They've obviously, maybe it's obviously got a lot more bugs than maybe we thought. I can only imagine it's because they've found that it's incomplete. Maybe it's gone through the rounds with testers, and they've gone around and said, look, Sega, this game is not up to scratch, you need to sort this out. So I can only assume that is maybe why they've delayed it 6 months. YouTuber name Vesta and Friends Tommy Sonic Plush. Okay. What cartoon shows did you watch growing up? As you've just put there, yeah, Transformers was a little bit before my era. That was like the 80s, right? So I've never really been a big Transformers fan at all, even to this day. Obviously, the Michael Bay films, even the first one's not really new anymore, is it? Is it 2007? Yeah, I've never been that big fan of Transformers. Although I did catch a lot of the reruns for He-Man when it aired, which was obviously a very big thing in the 80s, and I quite enjoyed that, to be fair. I quite enjoyed the reruns of He-Man and Turtles, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, as it was called here. They were two very big products of the 80s. So, although they were a little bit before my era, I did catch up on them. But 90s, of course, the Sonic series. Oh man, really hard for me to think that, putting me on the spot. I need to wrap my brain around it. There was a lot of shows. I used to watch a lot of stuff. Literally anything that would have been on CITV or the CBBC around that sort of time. I didn't get cable until quite later, until I was like a teenager. So I remember the first time I got it. It was like put Cartoon Network on, and I was like, I couldn't believe it that like there was like cartoons. You could watch cartoons at like 10 at night. Today that seems like it's easy. You can just get your phone up, go on this computer, or anything. You can watch whatever you want. But back then, I was like blown away that I could go on television and watch a cartoon show at 10 at night. Because I always had cable then. You had Cartoon Network and Fox Kids. I was like, this is incredible. This is like the best thing ever. But yeah, Darkwing Duck. Have you heard that SDBH is coming out on the Switch in 2019? What game is that, Jaheim Young? Is that not the what game is that you're talking about? Have I played Roblox yet? No, I haven't. They're trying to make an official game with Sega. Do you have any tips on getting their attention? Yeah, Celadon's got a good idea. Get the game finished, and a social media account like Twitter might be a good idea, because they are somewhat responsive to fans on there at times. If your tweet can get some retweets and likes, it's got a higher possibility of getting them seeing it. Or you could go to them directly and send them an email, which is not too hard to get that. Just literally go on one of their Sega websites, and it'll probably be contact them in the about page or facts, whatever it's called. You could do that, but I think Celadon's got the good idea of getting to make it first, then to send them at least what you've got and show them. I think that's a good idea. As I said, it's not too hard to get their attention, and it actually reminds me, it's just reminded me, I had planned to visit Sega's headquarters in Haneda in Tokyo, but I never got around to it. It's right close to the airport as well, but I run out of time. So there you go. Maybe go to their headquarters and just say, hey, here's my game. Please hire me. Don't do that. You are getting Tommy Silver the Hedgehog at Target or Amazon. Great stuff, Kitro Classic. Yeah, absolutely. As Celadon is saying here, he's probably the best person to be giving you advice for, because he is indeed a gaming developer. Dragon Ball Heroes, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Yep, indeed. It's a pretty fun spin-off idea. I did see quite a lot of the card game machines out in Tokyo for Dragon Ball Heroes. Thank you for responding. Really appreciate it, Project Spark. Oh, not at all. We're glad to help you, and I wish you all the best and success with the project that you're making. As we've seen with Sonic Mania, Sega are definitely out for hiring other game developers that aren't within their company. As I said, Mania. I mean, what is honestly your guys' opinions on Sonic Mania, or Mania Plus, if you want to say it? I think it's a great game, but I don't know. Part of me thinks like, is it? There's annoying things I see about it, right? And you'll see comments saying this is the best Sonic game since Sonic and Knuckles. That's quite an annoying comment, because that literally just contradicts and undermines everyone that's worked hard on Sonic games since then. It's certainly not the best Sonic game to say that's come out in just like 20 years of history. Don't get me wrong, I think Mania is a great game, and I really, really enjoyed playing it. There's a few things that maybe I wasn't too much of a fan of in it, but you've got to remember, Sonic Mania is literally 80% recycled material from previous games. Okay, great for that nostalgia trip, but you got to think they basically did a lot of it. There was a lot of copy and pasting and enhancing what was already done on the levels. You know, I mean, I recently played Sonic 4 Part 2. I haven't played that for quite a few years, because it's on PlayStation Now. I was around a friend's house playing it, and I really enjoyed it. You know, it gets a lot of unnecessary hate, I think, the Sonic 4 series. Admittedly, I don't think Part 1 wasn't that good. It wasn't great, it wasn't that good, but it wasn't bad. But Part 2, it kind of enhances and improves on its sequel immensely. And as I said, I played it and I really enjoyed it. I mean, say what you will about Sonic 4 Part 2, but at least it was original. It was an original game, which is more than what you can say for Sonic Mania. And I'm not saying that like Sonic 4 Part 2 is better than Mania, not at all. Definitely don't try to twist what I'm saying, but I enjoyed Sonic 4 Part 2 for what it was. And I'd forgotten how fun it was at places. But I do think honestly that Sonic Mania is a little bit overrated. I think everyone just says how perfect and great it is just because it's a classic 2D Sonic game. But yeah. Can you imagine if it was kind of in the same art style that Sonic 4 was? I kind of get the feeling that it probably wouldn't be as well received if it was. No, it's just what I think. I still think Mania is a great game, but I do think it's a bit overrated. See, Celadon's got the high. See, you have very high standards for Sonic. Yeah. Yeah, you make a great point. Look, you wasn't blown away by the new music. Some tracks were amazing, but Most were forgettable. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you there. I think the worst part for me was the payoff you get with the last boss. The last boss with me and his theme was incredibly disappointing. And the Chaos Emeralds are a little bit challenging in this game. You had the fastest time in Sonic 4 Episode's first zone on the PlayStation for around 2 or 3 months when it launched. Well, that's great. That is awesome. I said I had a lot of fun with part 1 and 2. Managed 100% both of them. Great experience. At least you can say they're original. Now the fandom kind of wants to just pretend they never existed. Mania is the only Sonic game that's mattered for the past 20 years. That's what the fandom's like now. They should have made new unique levels and new characters. Yeah, I agree with you, Project Spark. So it's just gone 12:30 here. We'll be wrapping this up pretty soon. But this has been a fun, interesting stream. Really enjoyed it. We're almost hitting 3 hours here, which is pretty awesome. You enjoyed Sonic 4, but the physics were broken. I'd definitely say in the first one, they were quite broken. Not to the point of unplayable. I think broken's a bit of an unfair word. They were not right, I'd use a word. But I thought it was certainly very much improved in part 2. Such a shame we never got a part 3. I wish they'd make a Mania with new assets levels. Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, with the amazing reception that Mania has got, and it did sell well, I guess Sega would be foolish to not continue and grow on that. Do you know who manga artist is for what in particular are you asking for, Project Spark? But Sega don't always make the best decisions. Oh boy, you don't know how right you are. I think Sega are pretty famous for making bad decisions over there. Oh, it's a YouTube channel. Do I know a manga artist? No, I don't. No, I've not heard of that one. I'm guessing he's quite popular. You've got green screen. Okay. Now I've still got a few bits next to me because I haven't really sorted everything out yet from my time in Japan. But here's for those curious, here's a Akihabara magnet that I picked up because, you know, my favourite place to visit in Tokyo. I thought it'd be pretty awesome to have a magnet. There's quite a lot of stuff next to me that's still a little bit of a mess in places. I've got 2 haul videos coming up tomorrow, so if anyone's curious on seeing what my haul is, I've got a Sonic haul, which is going to be uploaded on this channel, and then I've got every other item that I've picked up. It's going to be on my second channel, the Ultimate Collector. I've just got a few random bits to me. Anyone familiar with the Senran Kagura series? There's a little keychain of Yumi, pretty awesome. There's a few other bits here. I'm still a bit lazy, I really need to sort some stuff out. Make background into Green Hill Zone for your Sonic plush adventure. Okay. How do I find so much Sonic stuff there? Well, I was lucky this time because I was out there with two big promotions going on. You had the one in the Tokyo Hands shop chain, and then you had the Thunderbox promotion going on out there, which only closed yesterday. Or it shop shut. I don't know if you saw the video I uploaded about a week and a half ago of pictures I took while I was there. So that was a shop that was selling exclusive Sonic merch. I managed to pick up a Sonic and Tails Joypolis plush from Joypolis, obviously. What else did I pick up out of there? Some socks. You'll see it all on the haul video tomorrow, but I can't remember. I don't have the Sonic stuff next to me, unfortunately. But I did bring a lot of other stuff back as well. Tokyo is one of your... Well, Tokyo is the capital of Japan, Kitro Classic. I'm pretty sure you meant to say Japan is one of your favourite countries, but I got what you meant. You've been so many times and you can usually only find stuff in Joypolis. If you look around, the Mandarakes out there usually have some Sonic stuff hidden in them. If you go to Nakano, my god, I saw a lot of Joypolis merchandise in Nakano. The plushes, the figures, some Forces stuff was there, some of the badges and promotions that were previously there. Yes, there was a Sonic promo at Tokyo Hands. It was just coming to the end, as by the time I got to Japan, but my friend there managed to pick up a couple of bits for me. It was like a sleeve, one of the sleeves, but there was some other good stuff there, but unfortunately that had all gone. But La Forette was the shopping chain in Harajuku that had the Thunderbox Sonic promotion going. What are my opinions on Sonic OCs? Oh dear. Well, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm not a huge fan of OCs really in any franchises. It's not something I do. I don't become a fan of a series and then all of a sudden draw my own character in it. It's just not for me. I've never really seen the appeal from it from my point of view. Obviously, it's a huge thing in the Sonic fandom. The fact that even Sonic Team have put that as a part of Sonic Forces goes to show you how big a thing it is in the Sonic fandom. But it's not for me. Yeah, I actually left DeviantArt quite a few years ago now because it was DeviantArt's not a great place to be now at all. It's a very toxic place, and there's a lot of that littered on there. That's not necessarily saying that's all the bad stuff on there, but yeah, OCs are not for me. If it's for you, then that's fair enough, but for me, no. You buy all your bits and bobs from there. Unexpected. That's pretty awesome. Sell it on. Nakano Broadway. Yep. You guess you're just really unlucky or blind. Man, I saw a lot of stuff out there this time. Literally every third shop I probably went in there was like a Sonic item in there. There's a lot of Transformer stuff, absolutely. Do I know how to draw Sonic? No, I'm not a very good artist. Not a good artist at all. The Sonic fandom has evolved into a very strange thing. Yeah, it's weird, right? You'll go on the internet some days and it's like the fan base has turned on a game that they once loved. Like all of a sudden you'll go on there and Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Colors, for instance, the games that they would have highly regarded as great a few years ago, all of a sudden turned on it and hate it. It's very strange. It's very strange. It's like every day you'll go on there and something different has happened and it's changed. And it doesn't help with a lot of these Sonic websites that are out there that kind of don't help with things. And you know, there's quite a few. I don't like to keep using the word toxic, but there's quite a few toxic Sonic YouTubers out there that kind of do make things even worse. Kind of because like they get an audience on there, and then things spreads on social media, and then it just it's a mess. But just look at it and laugh and just move on. Super Smash Amiibo collection you got. Well, that's awesome. There's a lot of Amiibos coming out from Smash Bros, right? I might have to pick a few up. I might have to pick the new Zelda ones that are coming out because I'm trying to... It's impossible for me to try to complete the Amiibo collection. There's far too many and they're too expensive, some of them. But I would like to at least have a complete Zelda collection of the Amiibos. I've got most of them. They're in that one right there. That's where most of them are. Oh, as you see, I'm yawning a bit now, so I'm going to be wrapping this stream up in a couple of minutes. But this has been a really fun evening, and 3 hours have literally blown by. And I really appreciate everyone that's taken time out of their day to join me here on the stream, even if you joined for only a few minutes. Awesome that you guys clicked on here. Am I a fan of Pokemon? One moment. This probably will answer your question. Yeah, I am indeed a fan of Pokemon, and I'm really enjoying Let's Go Pikachu, the edition I've got. Not like one of them crazy. I'm not like obsessed with. I'm not obviously as big a fan of Pokemon as I am with the Sonic series or even some other series. But I do like Pokemon. I've always been interested in its appeal. This has kind of been the first mainstream Pokemon game that I've been playing for years. I kind of dropped out after Black and White. I didn't even complete Black and White. For me, Red and Blue, Yellow, of course. Yellow, loved Yellow, Pokemon Yellow. And then Gold and Silver. I played the remake to them, but then I kind of dropped off. But I was a huge fan of the anime back in the day. But if I'm totally honest with you, when it comes to maybe it's anime and characters, I really do like Pokemon, but I'd probably say I'm a little bit more of a fan of Digimon, especially season 1 and 2 of the anime. Really, really love that. I also enjoyed the recent Digimon games that have been released, even though I'm going to probably do a video on some of this towards the end of the year on my second channel of some of the games I've really enjoyed this year. I've been thinking of doing. Your mum's been bizarrely obsessed with Pokemon Go over the last few years. Okay, that's great. I wasn't a big... I never jumped on the hype of Pokemon Go, the app. I tried it, but I got bored straight away. And it got so mainstream. Like it literally took over... literally took over the internet world. So yeah, this is a great fun game, and it is full of so much nostalgia for obviously the Kanto region. I mean, if you've ever played Red, Blue, or Yellow, or even Gold and Silver, you're going to get immediate nostalgia vibes for this game, which is what I love. Now, there's a few things in this game I don't like. I think it is a little bit too heavily influenced on Pokemon Go, the whole catching mechanics. It took a little bit getting used to with the controls, and the fact that you're not actually defeating Pokemon to level up, you're catching them. Okay, I would rather it have been a bit of a battle system still, but I can live with it. It's not like a deal breaker for me. It's just a minor gripe. I'm a little bit disappointed that you can't use the Pro controller on this game. I was a little bit disappointed with that, because I really love the Pro controller. And when I saw that you couldn't use that, I was like, ah. And it's a little bit weird at first to play it with just one Joy-Con when it's on the television. I know you can play it with two if you've got it undocked. And, what was I going to say? It does seem a little strange that they still haven't put the voices for the Pokemons in this game. Yeah, I know we've got Pikachu and Eevee in the game, but we're still using the sound animations from the Game Boys for the Pokemon voices. It's 2018 and we're still using Game Boy animations for the voices. Okay, that seems a little bit like, as I said, it's not a deal breaker and it's not like a bad, but it's literally this is a 2018 Switch game. They could easily have put the voices for the Pokemons in this game. It's just a very few minor gripes I've got with the game. I'm still really enjoying the game completely. You love the original Digimon pets. And that's why you couldn't be here till 10:30. Your network is on crack. You're getting this game tomorrow. Well, that's great, Kitro Classic. You'll enjoy it. Absolutely Celadon sound. I've read this in reviews with this Pokemon. It is a shame. This is kind of another little bit knock, but they have made this game quite easy, especially compared to the originals. I haven't really grinded on this game at all, and I've literally obliterated everything that I've come across so far in the game. I haven't even, I've not even had a Pokemon get knocked out yet. As I've read in reviews, they've kind of made super effective moves even more powerful. So if you use a move that's super effective on whatever type you're using, it's going to potentially knock them out straight away. So they've done that to make it accessible to everyone. I can see that. I can see, like I said, money talks. It's going to sell it. It's going to mass market. Kids are going to have a lot easier time to pick up and play this. But I completely agree with what you're saying, that they have made this a lot easier than the originals. And, shame. Like that, God, I would have liked to have had it a little bit more challenging, but still, this is a really good game. It's not a deal breaker, but you can feel the hand holding. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. And we know, as I just said, you know why they've done it. They've done it to make it easier for kids, more mass appeal for kids. I guess they'll say, if you want a harder RPG game, go play Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy or something. But, yeah, I guess, like I said, it's easy. For me, like I just said, the weirdest thing is that they've not got voices in the game. Now, I've played, earlier this year that came out, Digimon Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory. Really fun mechanics in game. Really enjoyable game. The ending's a mess. I'm not going to go into the ending's bad, but every Digimon in that game has their own voice and characters for attacks and animations and when they do something. Alright, and there's a lot more Digimon in that game than there is Pokemon in this game. So it does boggle my mind that Nintendo are still using Game Boy sounds. But that's just me. That's just a minor gripe. Welcome back, Project Spark. Your network is back. So yeah, I was thinking of doing probably next month. It'll probably be on my second channel because it's not going to be Sonic related. like my favourite list. I'm going to do a list of my favourite games that I've played this year. I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm going to do it once Smash has come out because I want to see what I feel of that game and how high I'm going to rate that with my top games this year. You watched a video from 1988 on YouTube the other day. It was a news report talking about the Nintendo, and it showed these young kids solving puzzles. Yeah, you see what I mean? I thought, man, imagine if kids today had those to play. Oh dear. Yeah, you're right. Things are a lot easier now. Everything's got like an easy mode on it now, or will complete the game for you sort of mode. Just hold your hand. And you are right. Maybe it would have been a good idea if they'd have had like a harder mode to play on the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. So you've got like the easy mode if kids want to have it in easier mode, or a hardcore mode to play for Pokemon. That'd have been cool. But, I suppose as we're going to have online battles and stuff, you're going to have the options to do harder battles as you can face other people online. Kids get very upset if the game doesn't reward them. Yeah. It's crazy, right? But while we're on the topic, as I've got them next to me, I'll show you exactly what I'm playing at the moment. So if you've been to Japan, then you'll know this game because it's very, very popular in the arcades. But I picked up the Switch version of Taiko Drum and Fun. This is an awesome, awesome game, and the motion controls work really well on this. The Switch has done a fantastic job porting this over. And it's got some really good songs on here. There's a few Nintendo tracks on here as well. Really, really fun game. You can get the drum with this game, but it's like double the price, and I couldn't afford that. But the motion controls work really well. This is Taiko Drum and Fun. If you like music rhythm games with the thought of playing on a drum, you'll love this game. You played Skyward Sword, Kitro Classic. That's one of the only mainstream recent Zelda games I've never actually played. If it gets a remaster one day, I'll definitely pick it up. You had no idea it was on the Switch. That might be because it's only been out 2 weeks. But the Japanese version of this game came out about 6 months ago, and we finally got the Switch version. But it's got some great tracks on here. It's got over 70 songs. You've got Dragon Ball Z, Neon Genesis, Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2. There's loads on here. It's really, really fun game to play in the arcade, especially with 2 people. And another game I'm really, really enjoying at the minute is Soul Calibur 6. This is amazing. Now, I'm a huge fan of the first Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. I absolutely loved it. It's one of the games I got for it on launch. I got Soul Calibur, House of the Dead 2, Sonic Adventure 1, and I've kind of been a Soul Calibur fan since. Now, I haven't played a Soul Calibur since the third one, which is the one where they did all the Star Wars crossover. Kind of did put me off a little bit, that one. It was a good game, but I missed out 4 and 5. So I recently picked up 6, and I absolutely love this game. Visually, this looks incredible, and this plays so well in 4K on the Pro. The character models and graphics and the engine that plays this game, really, really, really good. Bandai Namco have done a fantastic job in this game, and the battle animations for the clothing and the damage that you take during battles is it's incredible. It's like literally the clothing just shatters off the characters. Oh yeah, of course, Astroph's in the game. I didn't know he wasn't playable as EGX. But yeah, I mean, they'd never release a Soul Calibur game without Astroth. He's in the game for sure, and he's awesome. As Kitro Classic has just said there, Soul Calibur, he's made his own anime. The character customization options in that game is incredible. They really put so much depth into creating your own character to use in the game. And I honestly think it's in the award for Fighter of the Year, and it honestly deserves it. It really is such a well put together game. I think it's up against Street Fighter V and Dragon Ball Fighters. But Soul Calibur 6 is such a much better, well-produced game than those two. And don't get me wrong, Street Fighter is definitely my favourite fighting video game series. It's always going to be. I absolutely love Street Fighter. But compared Street Fighter V Arcade that come out early this year to Soul Calibur 6, with its single-player content that's in Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter V Arcade is literally an embarrassment of a game compared to Soul Calibur 6. And it pains me to say because I'm such a huge fan of Street Fighter and Capcom, but comparing the two, Street Fighter is literally embarrassing. The level of how much content is in Street Fighter V and Soul Calibur 6. If Soul Calibur 6 doesn't win the Fighter of the Year, I'll be I will not know. You haven't played since 3 either. 2, yeah, 2 was awesome. I had it on the GameCube, of course, because it had the best character, right? It had Link. But this is definitely the best Soul Calibur I've played. Yeah. You have Let's Go, Fighter Z, and Shenmue Remaster play. Yeah, I haven't played Shenmue Remaster yet. You have a lot of time to play games there. Spider-Man 2. All this time, all these games with not enough time. Ah dear. I definitely plan to get the Shenmue Remaster at some point. You remember playing Street Fighter back then? Yeah, I said Street Fighter is a great video game series. One of the best. But 5 was, for me, at least for its single player content, a huge disappointment. In fact, I really went off Capcom for a little while when I first got Street Fighter V, its first release. Couldn't believe it. It was literally a disgrace of a game they released. It was so unfinished. Not its mechanics, just how much content was in the game. When I mean how much content, I mean lack of it. But I'm glad to see Capcom, they are getting themselves back on track now. We've got, oh man, Resident Evil 2 coming out in a couple of months. I can't tell you how excited I am for that game. And then we've got Devil May Cry 5 a couple of months after that. Capcom are definitely getting themselves back on track. Tekken, yeah, Tekken's good. I was never a huge Tekken guy. Tekken for me was kind of I always found Tekken a little bit too slow. I think that's because I've mostly played like Street Fighter, which is a much faster paced fighting mechanic. I will absolutely get Shenmue at one point, Celadon. And Power Stone was awesome, specifically the second one. Power Stone's awesome. They really should bring that back as a remaster one day. I know they did re-release it on the PSP, which was great. Really awesome fighter. When it comes to fighting games, Capcom really know what they're doing. Man, I was playing Fighting Vipers the other day. It's on PlayStation Now. And I never had it back in the day. I never had it on the Saturn. It was one of them games that kind of slipped under my radar. And playing it recently, I realized just how fun it is. And when I look at it now, I can see just how far ahead it was for its time with its graphics and mechanics. It's a really good game. And the whole the character damage and the clothing damage, it was kind of like it was a new thing back then. You think this is a mid-90s game. It's a really, really good game. Really, I would like to track down an original copy of it one day for the Sega Saturn. Yeah, exactly, it had some really cool mechanics for its time. Really, really well done. So many underrated classics on the Sega Saturn. Fighters Megamix was a great evolution. That's awesome. That's great that you've got both for Saturn. So yeah, I think I wrote down the games that I picked up this year. I was planning on doing a list of what my top list was at some point. The rules are that it's got to be that the games have got to have been released within 2018, and I was going to potentially write a top 15 list of what my games I've enjoyed the most this year. There's been a lot of good games. A lot of good games that have come out this year. While I don't think we've had maybe the potential high quality of Game of the Year standards as we had last year, such as Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, we've still had some really good games that have come out. I was just looking at the list of ones that I've wrote down, getting my lists ready. The director of Street Fighter is the same guy who made Tekken. His name is Steven Souza. Pretty cool. You know, as a kid, Panzer Dragoon is another one of those game series that slipped under the radar when I had a Saturn. It's just, I remember back when the Saturn was out, the games were just so hard to get a hold of in the shops. Shops such as Woolworths, HMV, Game. It would have been Electronic Boutiques or something then. Saturn was so small in the sections in the shops. If the shops even stocked it, I must have missed out on the Panzer Dragoons thing. It's something I definitely want to get at some point. It's a shame because some of the games are so rare and expensive now. But as I said, as a result of its lack of games being sold in the stores, I did miss out on some great Saturn classics. And it was definitely Sega, as you put there, it was Sega's answer to Final Fantasy back then. And they both, of course, the Final Fantasy fan base is going to outweigh the Panzer Dragoon immensely. But there's definitely quite a big fan base out there for Panzer Dragoon. Have I played Nights into Dreams? Now that is a game I definitely do have, Project Spark. I actually have it with the 3D controller that come with the game. It's actually right above me at the top of the game room. Really awesome controller with a quite a revolutionary controller for its time, for having such an awesome analog stick. It's one of your favourite games. Great. It's a great game, very relaxing. I was actually quite a fan, really. It wasn't as good or memorable, but I did like the Wii version, the sequel. Often forgotten about. I know who maker of Sonic the Hedgehog, Jeff Fowler. That sounds like a pretty good a meet-up idea to me. Get some Panzer Dragoon Saga in and you can introduce me to the series. As I said, I definitely would like to get physical at some point, but the prices are definitely not going to get any cheaper, sadly. Well, guys, I think I'm going to be wrapping this up now. This actually went on. I was planning on ending this at about 12:30, and we're now 1:10. So 3.5 hours is pretty good length for the stream. I'm pretty happy with that, and this has been a really fun evening. Hopefully, the next one of these shouldn't be another 2-month wait. Definitely, there will be some streams coming before Christmas. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm definitely going to wrap this up now because it's quite late. And how could you? Yeah, it has gone one. I'm quite a late guy. I'm a night owl, as they call it, but it's hard to be a night owl when you've got work today and tomorrow. But it's all good. I don't mind. This has been fun. But yes, thank you all, everyone, for joining me here on the stream this evening or afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are situated. Stay tuned for some more upcoming streams. As I said, I've got 2 haul videos coming tomorrow. For those that are interested in Sonic hauls and anime hauls, they're going to be up probably around between 5 and 6 p.m. UK time, GMT time. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'm repeating myself again, but thank you very much for joining me here on this stream this evening. It has been an absolute blast. Until the next one, guys, take care of yourselves and see you soon.